We're swapped over.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hi.
Hey.
I didn't break it this time, guys.
I break everything, up to and including hearts. Hello, Joe. Thank you for coming in.
Time.
Hello, Joe. How are you today? I look
Joe,
like
how are
am I sideways?
you?
I don't know. Where am I? I don't know. I don't know where I am.
No, Peter never does.
I don't.
It's okay.
Like, I just know that there's buildings, there may be walls around me, there may not be walls around me at any given time. It's fine. We go with it. We glide.
We do.
We do the intro. Hello and
do you
welcome.
Do you want to do the intro as you pick the book?
Yes,
Jam?
because I picked the book, I get to do the intro. Yay.
You do.
Hold
It's
on.
your reward.
Peter, is Jam a little quiet for you?
Oh, I can move the mic closer to me.
I don't think so. I'm not watching the stream, though. I can only hear Jam in my headphones.
Because I have
It's-
her up
it's-
to, like,
Quiet.
It is me, but world famous is questionable.
Okay, what about now?
Sure.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay,
better?
I had the mic a little farther away in case I get a little shouty and excited.
It was that 12-year-old guard's last night that you had to keep it away from in case you got shouty or people trying to get into your town.
Yeah.
Joe says everyone sounds good to him, which is fantastic. Thank you for that, Joe. Sometimes we need somebody to be like, is everything cool? All good? With my weird, freaky thumb.
Our unpaid interns that do our, what's it? Our levels. They check all of our sound levels. Thank you.
Listen, I already asked one of you to do work without being paid for it. I don't need to ask both of you to do that. My conscience is heavy enough as it is. Anyway,
Right.
do the intro. Go, Jam. Go.
Okay. Welcome to the Tea and Tales Tavern. We're a book club that meets once a month to discuss books. Well, a singular book that we read that month over tea. Although this time I don't have tea. I have water.
Do any of us have... I've never had tea in the whole 6 months. This is the 6th episode. I've never had tea. I have a Rockstar energy drink.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is.
Victoria, do you have tea?
I do. But,
Looks like it's been... Is that McDonald's
yeah.
tea? Tea is tea.
We're going to brew our own tea eventually, but not today.
I usually
merchandising.
do. But me and Dylan ordered breakfast today because we were hungry and lazy.
Amazing.
That's fair.
This is the book club stream, Joe. I've talked about the book stream before, and me and Megan have discussed it a couple times. So this is the book stream. We get together to discuss books, as Jam just said. So that was redundant to say that.
Yeah, I'm Jam, aka Blue Clovers. And then
Where is
Peter's
Jam compared to-
down there. We all know Peter. And then Victoria is... Wait.
Yeah, you got it.
Like that way?
No, Peter.
Yes.
I don't know.
Other way.
Which other way? Other way? I don't know. I'm watching stream, trying to wait for it to catch up.
And up a little.
That way.
There you go. You got it. Nailed it.
Is that it? Hey! There you go. That's Victoria. So, Victoria and Jam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop doing this.
We read this month is I Live to Serve the Witch by Jacque Aye.
Or as she's known in Scotland, Jackie. Yes.
That too.
That joke about 12 times.
Yep.
It's so funny.
Why I chose the book? Okay, I did it for the cover art because it looks great. Honestly, that's why I chose the book.
Oh, we do have the cover art. Yes.
I also found out I'm following the author on Instagram, so I probably saw it advertised to me at one point, but we read it for the cover art. And I mean,
Did
I like
you tag the author that we're doing this?
No, I didn't. That's scary.
It is. Like, we have had authors turn up before and be like, "Thanks for reading my book," and then we roasted that book alive.
I wouldn't be surprised if she sees this, honestly. I hope she doesn't. I mean, I have good things to say about the book, but, like, that's still scary, so no thank you.
Yeah.
Anywho, did everyone get a chance to read the book?
I did.
I have read it.
How far did you get, Peter?
Okay, let's do the over-under on... Well, Victoria already knows the answer. Let's do the over-under on how far you think I got this month.
Oh, no. Well, I was really hopeful to say you got at least 3/4 of the way.
I would say 3/4 of the way. I got to page 105.
How many pages were in the digital copy you
190.
have? Oh, well, that's great.
But I was telling Victoria before we began and before you got here, at the end of chapter 13, going on to chapter 14, there were like 2 blank pages. So really, there were only like 188. But I still got further than I have done with most other books here. So, but I also had a journey with this book. May I tell you about the journey I had with this book?
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. 10 pages. You're not far off, Joe. Like, there have been months where it's been 2 hours before book club, and I'm like, guess I better read this. So I've made up time. I am fantastic at that. But my journey with this book was a fucking horror show. Because we won't say what the original book was, but Jam re-chose another book a couple of weeks into the month. Fine, no problem, no, absolutely fine and dandy. That's the privilege of whoever has chosen this month's book. So I look on Amazon, and every time I looked on Amazon, it was like, we can deliver this within a week. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can just go into Glasgow, get it now. So I went to every bookshop I could find in a good 30-mile radius of where I live, all over Glasgow, trying to find it. Nobody had it. Nobody had even heard of it. And this is Waterstones, independent bookshops, small second-hand books. Nobody had this book. And it wasn't until a couple of days ago that I went into the Waterstones in Braehead. Waterstones is a bookstore, for those who are unaware. I went into the Waterstones in Braehead. It was my final roll of the dice, because again, whenever I looked on it, Amazon was saying 5 days away, so if I'd have ordered it then, it would have been delivered tomorrow, which is not good for doing it today. So I go into the bookshop and I say, have you got this book? And the guy was like, you know this book is self-published, so we don't get copies of it. That'll be why I couldn't find it in any shops, because it was self-published. But it also probably didn't help that I kept calling it the wrong name. Now, the title of the book is I Live to Serve the Witch. But I kept calling it everything except that. I called it, like, In Service to the Queen, like, Servicing the Queen, Giving Service to the Queen. Like, I was convinced there was a queen, not a witch. And in the bookshop, I went to the guy and was like, have you got In Service to the Queen? And he was like, there's a book called... No, then I looked at the title and it was like, I Live to Serve the Witch. And I was like, oh, the Queen is apparently a witch. Oh, well. As a Scotsman, there is no correlation there between queens and witches. Absolutely. So that was my journey with this book, and I finally found it on the author's website when I can order an EPUB book to be delivered directly to me that moment. So that's how I got hold of the book. I was looking for an incredibly different book, Joe. I kind of want to write In Service to the Queen now, just to see what that book is, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I got it.
Story.
And you should do it on stream.
I actually am planning on doing a writing stream at some point soon, so maybe we will write In Service to the Queen, who may or may not be a witch.
I have a question for you, Peter. Because
Yes.
you said, I mean, you got the ebook, and you said there were 2 blank pages. There were, I think, like 2 drawings in the book. Did you see the drawings, or was it just, I guess, the blank pages for you?
The drawing that I saw was after the spoilers for a book we're about to completely spoil, by the way, but
Yes.
the only drawing that I saw was the 2 brothers when they put on the masks and they went to the house to kill, again, spoilers, to kill the dad. There was an image of the 2 brothers in the mask after that, but there were no other drawings that I encountered.
Okay. I don't know if the other drawing would have been further in the book if you didn't get to it, but I mean, you got pretty far. Because there's like another
drawing.
2. You
I
don't?
only have one.
Oh my god.
What does a physical copy look like? Can you hold one up for me, please? That is very cool.
Let me see if I can pull up. I mean, you're gonna have to look at it on my phone, but there's like another one. Yeah, that one that you're looking at.
That's the
There's
only
that,
one.
and but there should be another one.
And when does that go into chapter 14?
And then there's a second page of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does go to chapter 14 after.
Those will be my missing pages. Then I'll scroll back up and see if I can.
I'm surprised they're not in the like official EPUB one.
You would have thought
The
they'd
one
be
I
in the
have
EPUB
on
one.
Kindle, it's there, and it's like the page you showed us before chapter 14. It's like side by side, so it kind of looks like a comic strip. But yeah.
My digital copy isn't even loading anymore. I've just
I thought it was
got
fun.
a screen. That's all I've
Yeah,
got.
mine's not loading either, so.
It knows we're talking
Oh,
about it, so
well.
it doesn't want to hang out
knows.
with us anymore.
I guess I'll just have to use whatever random notes I have.
Yeah.
I did have to stop taking notes because that was the only way I was going to finish in time.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I'm going to have to try my best to remember.
I
Remember
also
shit as it happened.
stopped taking notes just because there was so much going on.
Yeah.
So much.
I need to like revisit my note-taking process. Because it just takes me so long to finish books when I take notes.
You know what would be so fun to do in future episodes of the book club is record voice notes and then play them. Like our initial thoughts, like, what the fuck just happened? This is bullshit. This is fucking horrible. And then we just play that. Pete has some thoughts. What the fuck is this? This is bullshit. That'd be brilliant fun.
I think that would be actually very fun. I can move on to the recap now, where I
Yes.
summarize the book. I'm going to do it differently this time, though. I'm not going chapter by chapter because that would be really confusing. There's like
Yeah, it does jump. There's two stories.
there's like kind of two main stories, but it's kind of like 4 stories being told.
It's lots of junk.
I didn't
So-
get that far.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with Sunday and Ahsoka. And then we're going to move to, I just want to make sure we have the names right. Ceciline? Ceciline?
I think so.
I'd say
what we're calling it?
Ceciline.
Okay.
But I wonder if it's supposed to be more Ceciline than Ceciline.
That's what I was thinking because it ends in line, but I was like, I've never heard that. Ceciline.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause,
Unless it's like really.
It's Celine, right? But spelled Celine. So I think Ceciline
Okay.
instead of line.
Okay.
And then the other names, that's fine. We got that.
Yeah.
Starting with Sunday and Ahsoka. God, this is gonna take a while. I already know it.
I've got nothing else to do with my life.
All right, here we go. So we're introduced to Sunday, who has a brother, an older brother named Friday. They're pretty cool. They're tight. Sunday has been practicing his proposal to Ahsoka, who lives in the village with them. I believe they're both 19 years old at this time. Anyways, Friday's like, stop practicing your proposal. Just propose to her because their feelings are mutual. So at that same time, I have this marked as day 1. At that same time, Ahsoka is in her house where she lives with her father, Ike. And Ike is unfortunately an abusive, alcoholic piece of shit. And so Ahsoka's kind of not really hiding in her room, but just trying to be invisible. But Ike is like, he's having a fit because he can't find his special bottle of rum. So he takes out his frustrations on his daughter Ahsoka by shearing off her lock. Because she's been growing that for her 19 years of life. I don't know.
I was desperately hoping she'd be like, Sunday, what am I doing today, Sunday? Oh, Sunday on Sunday. Double Sunday. Double Sunday plus
wish.
Sunday makes Wednesday.
So she runs out into the rain to meet Sunday by their special tree where they have, I think, their initials carved into this tree. And Sunday, who's been waiting for her in the rain because he loves her so much. He's just happy to see her, even if she's late. And Ahsoka kind of reveals what happened to her hair and who did it. And she asks Sunday for help. And I mean, Sunday, the whole village at this point knows that Ike is a piece of shit. So he's more than willing to help. Now we're on to day 3. Sunday's now just coming back home that morning. So I don't know where he was all night, but he's now coming home. And he asks his brother Friday to help him with this plan to not get rid of Ike, but to deal with him. So that night, they sneak into Ike's house. Ahsoka is not there. She's apparently staying somewhere with a friend. So the brothers sneak in wearing these ivory masks and these dark cloaks to look, I guess, menacing. Their plan is to just scare him into submission. I'm not really sure what they thought that would look like. At that time, Ike is on the sofa, just in a drunken stupor, and suddenly a witch just bursts into the house to curse this man because he deserves it. The brothers are like, "No, don't curse him. He'll die. Who sent you?" And the witch is like, "Ahsoka sent me, so I'ma do it. Unless you, I think, kill her, or like, what was it? Trade their life."
I think the
I
deal
don't
was
know.
is if they get her to take it back, she'd kill Ahsoka
Yeah.
instead of the dad.
Yes, that was it. And Sunday is like, obviously not. And I love this girl, and I hate this man. So they leave. The witch kills Ike. I don't know if it's the next day. I just listed as the funeral. Could have been a couple days later when someone discovers this man's body. But anyways, the whole village has a funeral, and they're all pretending to be like kind and respectful and mourning of this man that they all hate. And suddenly, a woman named Uju, who is the wife of Ike, mother of Ahsoka, she arrives to the church and she's like, "What the fuck happened? Where's my daughter?" And Friday's like, "Your daughter made a deal with a witch to kill your husband." And I don't know why he's kind of petty at this time because he says it in front of the entire village and they're all like, gasp. They're gagged, is what I wrote. Um, yeah, so they just leave Uju crying on the steps because her daughter's now, I guess, cursed is what they think. Like, if you make a deal with a witch, you're also cursed because you had to give something away to do it. So that's that situation.
Which I'd never heard
Oh,
of before. Is that like a common thing in
I
fairy
no, I
tale
haven't
magic
heard of that.
books? I've never heard of it. Like you just do the deal and it's done. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And you just don't tell people yet that you did a
Yeah,
deal with a witch, but these witches work differently.
they're disobeying the
Anyway,
rules of witchhood.
yeah. So this next part gets a bit weird because Friday is just strange. But they're talking about love and how Friday's saying, like, Sunday, you have to go find Ahsoka because Ahsoka didn't turn up to the funeral, of course. People think she's somewhere around town, probably preparing like a meal for the after funeral party. I don't know. But
The after party.
she's not at the funeral. She's just somewhere. So Friday is like, you gotta go find Ahsoka because that's your true love, and that's hard to find in life. You can't just give up on her because she made a deal with a witch. Because I mean, she was in horrible circumstances. That's not her fault. And then he starts talking about how his true love is this little girl named Daluchi. Anyways, she died. She was gonna be an adventurer, and she didn't even make it to the next village. She died. And so Friday has a fiance right now, but he's just with her because their father was sick at the time and the mother wanted to be like reassured that, her sons are going to get married and have a good life. So he like paid off this woman to be his fiance. So he's like, "Sunday, you have true love. You need to go find this woman. Also, I took a slow acting poison that will kill me in 3 days. So I can trade my life for her." That was wild to me. The
That
fact that
was
he,
Literally, my last
like,
note is Friday is dying. This is where I gave up
yeah.
taking notes.
Oh, damn. It's so early. But yeah.
I had a lot to get through.
That's so wild.
I read
Like,
that part. I was like, when did he find time to get this
yeah.
poison and take it? What was going through his mind when he just sprung that up? It's like, by the way, I'm dying. Let's go do this.
See, I thought that might have been kind of a ruse or something. Like, oh, if I'm dying, it'll encourage him. Like there'd be some kind of antidote or something. Like he wasn't really going to die, but he's just like, nope, fuck y'all. 3 days, I'm
No,
out.
he was set to die. He
He
didn't give a
was.
fuck.
So I mean, we can't fault his commitment levels. He was dedicated to that cause.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great older brother, I guess.
Is it?
Anyways, so they're like, in order to find the witch, we need to go to talk to Uju. I'm not sure if Uju had spoken about finding the witch before this. I can't remember. I don't know if I wrote that down. I don't think I did. Anyways, they're like, let's go talk to Uju. She probably knows where Ahsoka is. So they find her back at her home. And they explain, like, well, no, she explains what happened to her for like the month she was gone because they were like blaming her for leaving Ahsoka in that situation. And Uju reveals that she had gone to seek out the witch. She found the witch, and she paid like 30 years of her life for the witch to take away the darkness in Ike's heart. And that's why she was gone for a month. She was kind of like working as the witch's servant for that time. And unfortunately, I guess the witch, knowing what Uju wanted, also just accepted Ahsoka's deal, which was to just kill the man, because that's what wicked witches do. Anyways, she decides she's going to show Friday and Sunday the way to the witch's cottage. The next part, I just wrote witch's cottage. A lot happens. Because a lot does happen.
A lot happened.
Try not to be so descriptive with this, Jam. God, I can't handle it.
I'm gonna get into it. Victoria, were you gonna say something?
No, I had to yawn.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So, no,
Can
it's
I
fine.
point out as well that everybody and their dog seems to be able to find this witch? Like, she may as well just live in a big tower with a sign that says "Witch lives here" because Ahsoka found her, Uju found her, and it's just everybody can find this witch.
It's weird. Like, I mean, I'll bring it up in the next part, like when we start talking about Ceciline, but it's just like, this witch is here. You all know she's here. You don't want her here, but I mean, she's powerful. Anyways, so Uju can't lead them all the way to the witch's cottage for whatever reason, but she points them in the right direction. She says, like, you're going to be able to smell this cottage before you even get to it. And they do smell it. It smells like baked goods and super sweet, like sickeningly sweet, I think. And just as they happen onto the cottage, the witch appears and she uses this puppeteering magic to like control the brothers to walk into the house and sit down in what I said was kitchen question mark. I don't remember. Anyways, they start talking with this witch and try to bargain for Ahsoka, and Friday's like, you know, you probably just want a life for life. You can have mine and we'll take Ahsoka back. Oh, I should mention, I forgot. Ahsoka's price for her curse on her father was a fraction of her soul. So the witch doesn't want a life. It's not gonna happen. And also she can smell the death on Friday, so she's like, I should be offended that you even offered that. And she curses them to eat pastries until they, I guess, until their stomachs explode, which is a horrible way to go out. And while they're doing that, the witch commands this dazed Ahsoka to just keep feeding them food. So after the boys finish a tray of pastries, she has to come bring out some more pastries. So Ahsoka's there. And they start talking about like, okay, well, at least we're going to die together and couldn't ask for a better death because we're eating pastries. And they say Ahsoka's name and she kind of like comes out of the spell, sort of. And then they kind of talk about how like your mother had made this deal with the witch to help you. That's why she didn't really abandon you and snap out of it, Ahsoka. And she does, which is great. And then she goes and collects a bunch of potions and she attacks the witch, and she reveals that while she was kind of in a daze, she was learning magic, and she learned a spell, or she learned of some herbs that can reduce the effect of a spell. And that's why she was also able to snap out of the spell. Anyways, she starts burning the place down. And while she's doing that, the brothers are no longer cursed, but Friday is still dying. So Sunday looks around the cottage, finds a potion that he thinks says life on it, and gives it to Friday, hoping to save his life. It starts to transform him into some weird winged creature. And then Ahsoka pops out and she's like, hey, we gotta fucking go. The place is burning. So she takes Sunday, they leave, and Friday's just left behind because Ahsoka thought he was dying. And she thinks the witch is dead now. So yeah. They leave, and that happens. Eventually they return to the village, Ahsoka and Sunday get married. The rest of the village obviously are not attending this wedding because they don't accept Ahsoka after the whole deal with the witch thing. But Uju's there, and she's happy, and she dies shortly after the wedding because I guess she didn't have long to live after giving 30 years of her life away. Eventually, Sunday and Ahsoka leave the village and move to another. I don't know if it's a nearby village, but they just move to another village. Ahsoka starts baking. They move in with this woman named Miss Duru, who's a baker. So they kind of like, I guess, an apprenticeship over there. They have a baby. We don't know this baby's name yet. Um, at some point, Ahsoka starts to feel like there's something wrong with the baby. And she keeps telling Sunday, you have to take the baby to the village healer. There's something wrong. I think she's dying. And Sunday's like, this baby's fine. Also, during this time, like after leaving the village, Sunday starts to like lose himself and lose sense of time. And like his only purpose is just to make Ahsoka happy. That's what he's telling himself. And I thought the entire time maybe he was like cursed or something. I don't know. But that's his life. He's just like, I don't care about myself or this baby. I just care about Ahsoka. So eventually he's like, okay, I'm going to take this baby to the village healer because that's what my wife wants. And as he's leaving the bakery, he keeps feeling like something's wrong and he should go back. But he's like, no, Ahsoka needs me to do this, so I will do this. He takes the baby to the healer. The healer's like, this baby's fine, but you're not. You're going to go mad and die early because you've lost your love. And he's like, oh, you mean like my brother? Because he died. And he's like, no, I mean Ahsoka. And he's like, Ahsoka's with Miss Duru. Everything's fine. And the healer's like, Miss Duru's the one you should be afraid of. So he runs back with his baby to the bakery where they've been staying with Miss Duru. The bakery's abandoned. And he realizes, like, oh my gosh, the witch was Miss Duru all along. He's taken back Ahsoka.
It was Agatha all along.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yes, Jam!
So I've also included in this part, like, life without Ahsoka. So at this point, Sunday and his baby girl have been just roaming around from village to village, searching for his missing wife. And this baby grows up to be like, you know, I guess preteen, teenager. Basically, she's the one taking care of Sunday because Sunday is not taking care of himself. His only mission is to find his wife. And one day they happen upon this village and they're just going through it, roaming around, looking at the people, trying to figure out, it's like, is my wife here? Have you heard of my wife? She was taken by a witch. And the villagers are like, don't talk about witches. Who the fuck are you even? Get out of here. And this one old lady in the village is like, she takes pity on the baby girl, who's no longer a baby girl. She's a teenage girl. So she takes pity on her and she's like, here, have some bread or something. And the girl's like, oh, thank you so much. And Sunday sees this and he freaks out on her, like on the woman, older woman. He's like, it was you. You took my wife. And he starts attacking her. And the villagers are like, what the fuck is this man attacking this old lady for? And so they separate her from him. And then they chase Sunday out of the village. And the girl's kind of just like left there. And then the woman who we learn her name is Beatrice. At least that's what she says. She's like, you know what? You can stay with me until your father comes back or until you decide, like, until you find him. And so the girl decides to stay with Miss Beatrice, well, Beatrice, whoever. And during her stay there, she does go out to look for her father, can't find him. And then one day, some travelers show up and they're like, hey, we found this body near a creek. And it's her father. It's Sunday. So Sunday's dead. And now this girl is just living with Beatrice, and that's her life. So that's the story of Sunday and Ahsoka. Any questions there? No? Okay.
Peter, do you
Let's
have a
move on to...
question?
I didn't really have a question.
Any comments or concerns?
I'm concerned about this man just being dead and leaving his woman with a woman he doesn't know, leaving his daughter with a woman he doesn't know.
Well, I mean, he's dead. He can't do anything about that.
Imagine he was like, yeah, I'm dead, but it's fine. Carry on as you were.
Fortunately, there are no zombies in this story. It's just witches. Witches and monsters.
We should write a sequel with a zombie.
Okay. Moving on to Cicelyne, who is the apprentice of a witch who we're going to call
A different
Mistress.
witch?
A different witch.
Yes.
I'm going to call her Mistress so we don't get confused because a lot of these witches go nameless for some reason. It's just the witch, but there's a lot of witches.
Yeah. So does that mean first name the, last name witch? And what if you go to another town and there's another the witch there? Like, who gets whose mail? It must be very confusing. Like, the witch, one is paying the witch bills, two's bills, and it becomes a whole thing.
I'm convinced everyone in, like, the villages just assume there's one witch, and they all just refer to them as the witch.
Every village has its own witch. That'd be handy.
That's probably what's happening.
But then when WitchCon happens and you're trying to get registration badges, again, badge here for the witch. Everyone raises their hands.
Exactly. This part, I didn't really...
I'm sorry.
I had, like, bullet points for the Sunday and Ahsoka thing, and then I got tired. So now I'm looking at paragraphs, so it's going to be, like, a minute to get through this. Okay, so Cicelyne lives with her mistress, who does magic, so, like, she's a witch, but Cicelyne doesn't know about the evil witch lore. She just loves this old woman who took her in and takes care of her, and she really wants to be a witch, I guess. She wants to learn magic, and that's why she's this witch's apprentice, but the mistress is like, no magic for you. At first she's like, well, you're too young to do magic, and now she's like, now that Cicelyne's older, she says, magic's dangerous. No. This mistress, I wrote witch here, the mistress disappears every night and returns in the morning, so we don't know what she's doing, but she's just out on adventures, and Cicelyne really wants to go out on these adventures because that's fun, and she really wants to be useful. But the witch is like, you have to stay in this cottage, promise me you won't leave. It's like, okay, because I trust you and you're my everything, I will not leave. One night, just before the witch returns, she kind of like does this telepathic spell where she tells Cicelyne to start pouring droplets of this potion around the cottage, like immediately, because they're in danger. And so she starts doing that. The witch comes just in time before Cicelyne finishes the circle of like the potion. She casts a spell. Apparently there's an angry mob chasing this witch. And so thanks to whatever potion that Cicelyne dropped around the cottage, they were able to teleport this cottage to a different location. So that's fun. That kind of traumatizes Cicelyne. Like, she's more wary of the outside world now, because why would a mob of angry people, just like an angry mob, be chasing her beloved mistress who is so nice? Which brings me back to what I was saying about the other witch. Like, how come a mob can chase this witch out, but not the other witch that is... everyone knows where she lives. But whatever. Let's see. So another night, when the mistress is out for the night, Cicelyne hears a sound outside. And then she hears a woman's voice calling for help. This woman collapses outside the cottage, and Cicelyne decides to bring her inside to treat her wounds, because her mistress is like, we can't have visitors. But Cicelyne wants to help this person because they're injured, and also if she doesn't, the mistress is just going to find her anyways. So she brings her inside, she helps take care of her until the mistress arrives, and she's telling herself that she'll tell the mistress that there's a stranger here that needs her help, but she just can't work up the courage to say it. So she tells this girl, who eventually wakes up, is like, yeah, my mistress could help you. She's this great healer, but she's put me in charge of healing instead. So that's what I'm going to do. And this girl immediately calls bullshit. And she's like, you just didn't tell her, obviously. So that's fun. But she's at least being obedient, and she's staying in Cicelyne's room and not wandering out and causing trouble. Later in the day, this woman that Cicelyne's taking care of says, you're obviously a prisoner because your mistress doesn't allow guests and she doesn't let you leave the cottage. So, what's going on here? Cicelyne says she's not a prisoner. She doesn't want to leave the cottage, and her mistress is so nice to her. Let's see. That night, the mistress, before she leaves, says she's going to be coming back late. because she's traveling farther than she ever has. And she's traveling by broomstick, which is fun.
Except the splinters.
Cicely, except the splinters. I never thought of that. At this time, Ciceline's like asking if she can go. Like she just blurts it out, like, "Can I go with you?" And the mistress gets super serious, kind of distraught. She's like, "You promised me you wouldn't leave the cottage." And Ciceline's like, "Oh, right. Don't even worry about it. I won't leave." And so the mistress leaves, but she drops this folded page of parchment paper just as she's leaving. Cicely picks it up, and instead of giving it back to her like she normally would, she just puts it in her apron pocket and doesn't tell the mistress about it. Once
The
the
apron's bigger
mistress
on the
is
inside,
gone,
by the way.
the
Which I
cottage,
love. The cottage and the apron, like it's bigger on the inside. I don't know if that comes up later.
the cottage does like that part comes up later, but I just never mentioned it because like that's maybe it's just the lighting and the paintings. Like it just looks nicer on the outside, on the
Yeah.
inside, and it looks shabby on the outside. I don't know, but
I
maybe
just
it is
like things that
magic.
are bigger on the inside.
Like surprisingly bigger, like pockets
Yeah.
of that,
Or time machines.
or time machines. Um, all right, so this woman begins wandering around the cottage now that the mistress is gone, and she's like talking to Cicely about how she might die soon. And Cicely's kind of obtuse about this, and she's like, "What are you talking about? You're healing. You'll be fine in the morning. Don't even worry." And this woman's like, "You're odd, but I like that." She doesn't say that, but she gives her that look, which I assume translates that. They have this romantic night under the stars where they kind of fall asleep in each other's arms. And the next morning, when Cicely wakes up, this woman's gone. The mistress is looking down on her like, "Why are you asleep in the garden?" She's not angry about it. She's just like, "What's going on? Why are you out here?" Um, so the guest has disappeared. The mistress is back, and the parchment paper that Cecily had put in her apron is also missing. So she's panicking about that because now she thinks this woman was a thief, and her mistress is right about like not letting guests in because they're all evil. All the people that live outside the cottage are terrible. Um, let's see. The mistress gives Cicely a rose-colored amulet affixed to a thin gold chain. Because she's gonna be leaving for a long time, like not coming back later that night. She's gonna be gone for weeks. So she gives her Cicely this amulet so she can contact the mistress anytime, wherever she is. And then the mistress leaves again that night. Cicely spends the next few weeks alone, trying to keep herself occupied, but she's bored as fuck and she has nobody to talk to. And she's also like still looking for this parchment paper, but she knows she doesn't have it. And specifically 50 days later, that woman that was injured reappears at the front door of the cottage with the parchment paper, and she's like, "Here, I'm back to return this to you." And Cicely's pissed, but then she starts crying, and they kind of hug it out because she's just so lonely, and she has nobody else but her mistress to talk to. But eventually she decides to call this girl Grace, because I don't want to have to keep saying this woman. Her name's Grace now. And
Because
Grace
of
is like, "Yeah,
pirates.
because of what?"
Because of pirates.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, she read this book about how, I guess, pirates, I think it's a romance novel, about pirates will, like, teasingly call their love interest, like, "You're my queen," or, like, "Your Grace," or something like that. So she's like, "You're my Grace." Because she's into this girl. Um,
Which is lovely, though. We love love.
yeah, it's cute. But this is also, like, the only other person she's met around her age in a long time. So maybe she
Is
should chill
Grace
out.
our age?
I
I
think they're
always...
around the
So,
same age. I don't know
Yeah.
if she might be slightly older, but it
mm.
seems like they're around the same age.
For whatever reason, I got the impression that Grace was slightly older because... not Ahsoka, what's her name? Ceciline kept calling her the woman and not the girl. So I was like, maybe she's a bit older?
Yeah, I think she is a bit older. I just don't know how much older.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
never
it's like too
specified.
I
much.
just assumed like
Yeah.
1 or 2 years. It could also just be the author like not wanting to call someone in their early 20s a girl,
Yeah.
because that's like a thing a
True.
lot of people hate. They're like, if they're not a child and they're a young woman, call them a woman.
Yeah.
So it
don't
could just the author
infantilize
be
them.
doing that.
Yeah.
Where am I in this? Gives her the name Grace. She spends the night in the cottage, and then after that one night, she's like, "We should leave this place. It's boring. Let's go to the nearby town," which I didn't write down the name, and I don't know if I could pronounce the name of the town either. I think it was like Lastus, something like that.
Right. Close. It starts with an
Something
L.
similar to that.
Good enough. um, yeah. So she keeps trying to convince Cicely, like, we should go to nearby town. I know the mistress told you not to, but it could be fun and there's dancing and I'll be with you and I'll keep you safe. So Grace is like, okay, fine. I have been here for 50 days alone. I can probably just sneak out to a nearby town, which I think Grace had said it was only like a day's travel. So she doesn't think they're going to be gone that long. But I mean, shit happens.
Yeah.
So they cross this stream that's just like outside of the cottage, and the cottage kind of disappears because of the witch's magic. So it's kind of like camouflaged into the rest of the forest, which makes you wonder how Grace even found the cottage to begin with. But I mean, she did. While they're traveling, while they're traveling, Grace is kind of revealing some more info about herself, about her and how she has a brother, and they travel from village to village, and it's just the two of them, and they take care of themselves and take on odd jobs. And they usually like to leave villages before people start to remember their faces. And I'm trying to write down, like, why did I write this part? Anyways, I don't remember how this conversation came up. I think it was just Cicely asking to know more about Grace since they're traveling together. Anywho, so Grace tells Cicely that they had this odd job from some rich woman who offered a reward if they were able to retrieve a necklace from a corpse or from a grave, something like that. And apparently Grace has this amazing nose and she can like sniff out death or just things in general. So she was able to follow the scent all the way to this grave site. And then they opened the grave, and apparently it was empty, according to her brother, who we don't have a name for him yet, I think. I'm just gonna say it's Hans, because that's not a spoiler. Her brother Hans is like, this grave is empty, and Grace is like, no, I see somebody in there that looks just like me. And then this person kind of opens her eyes and like gets up and spooks her. And Hans is like, you're going crazy. There's no one in there. And then Grace looks back at the grave and she's like, oh, it is empty. Oh shit. Anywho, so they failed that little side quest. And I think she doesn't say anything about the next part of her quest. They're just like, yeah, so that's what we were doing. And then suddenly they get attacked by this monster. And this winged beast, who I immediately guessed was Friday because that's who it is. Anyways, this winged beast starts attacking them out of nowhere. I don't know why. She just does. I mean, he just does. So he attacks specifically Grace, and he like tries to pick her up with her talons and fly off with her. But Cicelyne has like this Jedi mind moment where she's like silently begging this guy to just like leave them alone. And Friday, I guess, somehow telepathically hears this, and he like starts to just, concedes, gives off. I think it's maybe because of the protection spell Cicelyne has, but who knows? Maybe Cicelyne is magical. But Friday starts to like calm down, and then Grace stabs this motherfucker in the thigh. And he freaks out and flies away. And Cecily's like, why would you do that? He was like chilling out. There's no need for violence and killing everything. And Grace is like, that was a monster. Just like witches. And like, can't just accept everything as being nice. Like, people are evil and that's just how the world is. And you're just naive. And Cecily's like, you're terrible. And also, what do you mean about witches being evil? And then Grace tells her about how, like, witches steal babies and eats them. by like unhinging their jaws like snakes, and that's just what witches do in this world. Surprise to me. Anyway, Cicelyne doesn't really believe her because her mistress is a witch and she doesn't eat babies. Let's see. Where are we here? Oh, this also brings up a memory that Cicelyne has. Because she wasn't born at the cottage, obviously. The witch had saved her at some point. So she's kind of remembering her life before that, where she had, like, an evil stepmom, essentially. So her father had died, she was left with the stepmom, and the stepmom didn't give a fuck about her. Even though the stepmom was super rich, her two older daughters would get to go to private school, and Cicelyne had to, like, plumb it out.
She's basically
like Harry Potter. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a Cinderella retelling.
Yeah, I thought that so much, and I was like, wait, Cinderella's dead. We already covered this 2 months ago.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, that was her life. She was Cinderella, but not really. Just like the sad parts where she was slumming it out. And then the witch appeared, and she like briefly remembers the witch like bursting through the doors and unhinging her jaw to chomp down on something, and then that's where the memory stops. And she's like, well, you know what? I got rescued by my mistress, and that's what counts. I didn't finish the rest of the summary, but that's okay. I read the book. So anyways, they don't get to the town. They stop at an inn. And Grace convinced her, it's like, we just need to stop here for the night, and then we can carry on to the town tomorrow. We'll get there in time. It's going to be fun. Don't even worry about it. She happens to know the innkeeper here, so they get, like, a free room, I guess, for the night. And they have, like, this romantic moment. I think they sleep together.
Yeah, they definitely fucked.
Okay.
See, I should point out, I haven't read this far, so I don't know what happens next. I'm invested in the story, like, did they do it? Did they do things? Did they smooch? Did they have a wee kissy kiss?
Yeah, the way it's written, I'm pretty sure they slept together. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you just met this woman, but okay.
Hey, some people can do that.
Yeah, we don't judge.
In the rebellious phase.
Yeah.
She was just told not to leave the cottage, and now she's left the cottage. She's making out with this stranger, and she slept with her.
You didn't have a rebellious phase like that?
No. But I mean, good for her. Anyways, she wakes up the next morning. She's chained to this bed.
Ooh.
And she's like freaking out, obviously, like any reasonable person
How
would.
did she not wake up while she was being chained to the bed?
That's what I'm wondering, because that's wild. You didn't feel someone put a cold iron thing on your hand?
And, like, there's no way that, like, it's quiet. Like, the chains would have made noise. Like, a lot of noise.
I don't know. Maybe they put something in the food. She was out.
Maybe Grace is just really good.
Maybe. But she finds this letter, and Grace has written to her about, like, how she's so sorry, and she's doing this for her own good. And it's kind of odd, because I guess the next few chapters are Grace retelling, like, what's happened in her life and why she's doing it, but it's also, like, in the letter, so it's like, are you writing your own mini story right now? Are you adding your own dialogue to explain this? But whatever. So the story of Grace is that her and her brother, well, specifically her brother Hans, made this deal with this old rich lady who said, like, if you help me with this task, then you'll never have to do, like, another odd job again. You'll have all the money you could want in your life. And so they get tasked with finding this amulet, which is not in the grave that they go look for. And the witch knew this. Oh, I think she knew this. Pretty sure she knew that. So anyways, when they fail at this mission, that's when Hans realizes, like, this old woman was actually a witch. And she kidnaps Hans. And then she tells Grace, like, if you want your brother to live, you need to do this thing for me. And so Grace is now tasked with finding another witch, who I guess is just nearby, and killing her. And so she follows the scent of magic to the cottage where Cicelyne is. And she wasn't expecting to find Cicelyne, obviously. She thought she'd just find a witch. Um, I think she later realizes who the witch is because she looks at the parchment paper that Cicelyne had in her pocket, and she realizes in this parchment paper that Cicelyne is in danger and the mistress has been fooling her all along. And so what happened was Grace takes the paper, goes back to this witch that has asked her to kill this other witch, and the witch is like, you have to kill this bitch now, because if she's able to accomplish the spell, this will be the end of witch kind, which I think is great. Because apparently witches are evil. But Grace really wants to save her brother. So she's like, okay, how do I kill this witch? The witch tells her all the ingredients she's going to need for this potion. And then she goes back to the cottage. And that's when she sees Cicelyne still there. And she decides, I'm going to take out Cicelyne's mistress while, like, save Cicelyne. And, like, I guess save her from seeing the mistress being taken out, which is why she kidnapped her, kind of, to the inn and locked her up. So basically, that letter ends with her saying, with Grace saying to Cicelyne that, like, I've gone back to the cottage to kill your mistress to save you. Next part, kind of back to Cicelyne. She used the amulet that she has, like, she's not able to reach the amulet because it's on a chair just like out of her reach. And I guess also Grace didn't realize that was the amulet that she was looking for. But the innkeeper comes in because Grace had asked the innkeeper to keep Cicelyne alive, you know, like feed her, give her water. And the innkeeper comes in, sees that she's like, you know, chained up and struggling and trying to get to this chair. So he kind of moves it closer because he pities her. And then he leaves. So Cicelyne reaches for the amulet and tells the witch basically like, hey, I need you. I'm in danger. And then she's kind of like enveloped in this darkness. Going back to Grace now. Grace is in the cottage just as the mistress walks back in. And then Grace stabs the mistress. And the mistress doesn't bleed because, I don't know, witches don't bleed.
Witch logic.
Yep. And I think at that point, the witch is like, I know you. Anyways, they kind of have this fight. They're also enveloped in a darkness. And now they're all just in this dark realm, I think. I don't really know. But they all seem to, like, show up together, I think, thanks to the witch's spell. Like, I guess the witch is the one that put her and, like, the mistress put herself and Grace into this dark realm. And then Cicelyne's brought in there thanks to the amulet. So they're all there together. And Cicelyne's like freaking out because she sees Grace now like on the ground and the mistress has this knife and it's like, don't hurt each other. We can all just get along. And then we learn of the witch's story. The witch is, well, the mistress is Ahsoka. Da, da, da. And it turned out that da, da, da. So it turns out that when Ahsoka and Sunday had moved to the bakery and had started living with Miss Duru was actually the witch. The same witch that Ahsoka had made the deal with to curse her father and kill him. Oh my god. But they didn't know for all the years that they were living with Miss Duru that Miss Duru was the witch. So Ahsoka was kind of like, I don't know if she was spellbound or something, but she was just baking with this witch. And I don't know if the rest of the village was spellbound as well, because clearly the healer knew that this woman was a witch, but didn't say anything until after they had left. So I'm just assuming they were all under some kind of spell. But it wasn't until, like, Ahsoka kind of knew in her heart that something was wrong, which is why she kept saying to Sunday, like, you need to take my baby to a healer because something's wrong. Like, she's going to die. Because clearly Miss Duru had, like, plans for this baby. So as soon as Sunday and the baby leave, the baby's name's Amara, by the way. As soon as Sunday and the baby leave, Miss Duru reveals herself to Ahsoka. She's like, you bitch, you ruined my beauty. Now I'm gonna curse you into being a witch. And apparently, like, the witch's curse compels them to eat the souls of the innocent. But I think along with the curse, they kind of lose their humanity, which is why they're able to just, like, be wicked and evil. but the witch decides she's gonna let Ahsoka keep her humanity, just so she suffers every time she eats an innocent soul, just so she like feels guilty and horrible about it. So she does that. Also, I think the curse makes you look a little bit old. I think because they were saying that, like Ahsoka said, like when she was cursed, she kind of like got shriveled and whatever. So that happened. Anyways, after she was cursed to be a witch, Ahsoka decided to run away from the bakery and the village because she didn't want Sunday to see her like that. I think she also didn't want to devour her own child. So she ran away. And now we're back into the dark realm, I think. And Grace is like, fuck you. You don't get to call me Amara. Because the witch is like, Amara, my baby. And Grace is like, fuck you. You ran away. And my dad was right all along that you were alive. And you just abandoned him. And now he's dead. And everyone thought he was crazy. And the only person who raised me is Beatrice. And she gets to call me Amara, not you, because she's my mom. So she's like having a bad time. Also, I guess she's realizing now that the amulet that's around Cecilene's, I guess her neck? I'm not sure if he's holding it or if it's around her neck at this point. But she's realizing that's the amulet that she needed to kill the witch. And Cecilene's confused because, like, why would you need this amulet to kill the witch? And Ahsoka's like, because my heart is in that amulet. And Grace, I'm going to call her Grace. Grace is like, yeah, I need that to save my brother. So if you actually cared about me, give me the amulet. And fuck you, Mom. So instead...
In that order. Amulet, fuck you, Mom.
Exactly. So instead, like, just as Ahsoka's about to hand over the amulet, Grace remembers that there's this spell Ahsoka can do to duplicate something. So she's like, just use that spell, and maybe we can trick Miss Beatrice Duru, I don't know, this other bitch, to thinking that that's the real amulet, and you're dead. So Ahsoka replicates the amulet. They break that one, and it kind of like oozes, and they're hoping, like, okay, let's go confront this witch. And I don't know, maybe she'll believe us that Ahsoka's actually dead. So that's what they do. Grace goes back to the witch's place, and Ahsoka and Ceciline kind of travel with her, but invisible and from a distance, so they're not detected. I'm trying to remember. At this point, I think Grace gives the amulet to Miss Duru, and she's like, oh, this is, like, great job, I think. I don't know. Or maybe not. Maybe she sees through. No, she says great job. And then Grace is like, okay, can I have my brother back? And Miss Duru's like, you're stupid. I'm gonna kill both of you. What are you talking about? And that's when Ahsoka reveals herself, because she's like, Cicely's like, you have to help her. You can't just let this girl die. And then Friday shows up to, like, abduct Grace to wherever Hans is. And then Ahsoka sees Friday, and she's like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. I'm so sad. And Friday sees Ahsoka, and he's like, well, he can't talk. But he's making faces. He's having a face journey. So anyway, so he's like, Ahsoka, you're alive. And they both start attacking Miss Duru because teamwork. So while they're doing that, Ahsoka sniffs out where Hans is, and Ceciline follows her, and they go to save Hans, who I think is in a human-sized oven. Because he's like, it's hot in here, help. So they get him out of the oven.
So take off all your clothes.
Yeah. No.
And he's like, I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off.
Not at all. Anyways. So they get him out of the oven, and they start looking for Miss Duru's heart. And I think Hans says it's in a music box, because he usually hears her playing this music box before she, I don't know, kills her other victims. So they look for the music box, they find the music box, they can't open the music box. It needs a key. Where's the key? Hans reveals, oh my gosh, this woman swallows the key every time. So it's in her right now. So Grace is like, okay, well, I have a knife. So they go back to the battle. They cut this woman open, take the key out of her stomach, and go back.
It's like a Saw film.
Exactly.
That's literally a Saw trap.
know how that happened in the battle. I forgot. A lot was going on, and I was like reading real quick. So they open the music box. A thing pops out. They smash it. They've killed the witch.
Oh, it's a little ballerina.
It's the ballerina?
Yeah, because...
Oh, is it the ballerina that was a thing?
Yeah. Because it's like a usual music
right.
box where you open it and then there's like a little ballerina that pops up and she dances. Because
and
the original witch
No, go ahead.
became a witch because she just wanted to dance forever. She loved dancing. She just wanted to be young and dance for forever. So she made a deal with a witch. And we know how that turned out.
Not well.
Which explains why she was like so vain about her appearance and like mad as fuck about Ahsoka like burning her face off. But okay, that didn't work out for her at all. But anyways, the witch is dead, and I guess the mistress Ahsoka is like, it's time for me to die too, because I mean, I forgot to mention that she had revealed the parchment paper, like what was on it. It was a spell to reverse the curse of like being a witch, but the spell required her to obtain a heart of an innocent person, like willingly. The heart had to be given to her, and so she kind of had not kidnapped. I mean, she did save Cicelyne and kept her in the cottage, so she would like grow up to be like this innocent, willing person to give her heart to her.
She
so
was
she could
grooming
like
her.
no, she was grooming her.
It's very
It
tangled.
was a bad situation.
Yeah.
But then Ahsoka's like, I mean, you were with me and I grew to love you and I didn't want to hurt you and steal your heart. So every night she was going out on her adventures, she was trying to find another way to like reverse the curse. And she says she did find it, but I guess when Mr. showed up and sent Grace to kill her, like she kind of had run out of time to reverse the curse. But she never really reveals what this other situation was, like what the spell or potion should have been. Anyways, Grace is like still pissed at this woman, at her mom, for no reason. She's like, fuck you, witch. Which made me upset. But anyways, Ahsoka's like, you're right. I guess I'll kill myself now. And she does. And then Grace is like, wait, no, Mom, I was joking. I love you. And Ahsoka's like, yeah, bye. So she pieces out. She dies. And then Grace kind of tries to convince Cicely. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you could come back with my brother and I, and we can live our happy romantic dreams together. And Cicely was like, fuck you. I don't actually know who you are. And so she goes back to her cottage to kind of like find herself. I guess not really find herself, but like she wants to grow up to be, not grow up, but like she wants to live her life because she's just been around all these people who either hated her or lied to her. So she just needs her own time right now. And at the end of the story, she decides to go to that nearby village that she had talked about to Grace, because apparently she owes Grace a dance. So hopefully Grace is there. Hopefully they don't get back together, because that's a messy relationship. But that's the end of the story.
And she has a cat now. The most important part of the book.
That is very important. Nobody told me she had a cat.
Yeah.
She has a cat. That's the end of the story. And all the other stories that were in the story.
It's crazy.
There were like 17 other films in there.
Like, so
there's a lot
happens,
happening.
But it's such a short book.
I know. Under 200 pages and all of that's in there?
Like...
We got a good hour out of describing that. And it's
God.
190 pages. I
kept trying to condense things. I'm like, okay, we don't need this bit of foreshadowing in here. We can talk about that later. It was like, there was so much.
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
That's good. But we should have a break first.
Yeah. How big was that oven, though, that Hans was in?
People size.
I think it was big enough to fit children, because that's apparently a thing witches also do. They bake children into pastries. So
Delicious.
You have to have a child-size oven for child-size pastries.
Yeah, I think it
Plot twist,
like,
turns out they just went to Greg's.
It just comes with, like, the witch starter kit, you know? You get your broomstick.
You have to be able to bake.
Cauldron, your child-sized oven. It all comes in a neat little package.
Yeah.
great.
But I wonder if it's like a standy up oven or a lay down oven, like a cremation oven.
Standy up, because it's easier to just like kick a kid into the oven instead of like knock them out and then roll them into the lying down oven.
That's true. But that being said, imagine you're a kid and you're put into the oven. Like, you're gonna have sore legs before you die. Who wants that? That's very unfortunate.
So
I've been standing for so long.
Well, they could sit down, but then their ass is gonna burn.
Which might be a good idea, because the ass burns, it gets perfectly cooked, the witch is like, oh, yummy, yummy, it's done. They open the door, and all it's cooked is the ass, and the child's like, fuck you, and runs away.
I don't know what these witch recipes are and how the children are supposed to turn out after they're done with the oven. So,
Delicious, it would seem.
I couldn't tell you if their feet are supposed to be charred and then the rest of them are like evenly baked. I don't know.
I need to know about
that.
I need to know about the cooking process. This is why we need to contact the authors more.
No.
Now, in your world building, how did you see this oven, and what spices do you put on the child? Is it like an oil-based rub? Is it just a dry rub? What do you do here?
Oh my god.
Do you inject with applesauce before putting them in? Make them more tender?
Mm-mm.
Alright, well, let's take our break here. I think that's a good note to go out on. We'll be right back. we're back.
And we're clubbing.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
Hello. Well, before we move on to questions, was there anything in that summary that I missed? Anything anyone wants to talk about?
So about this oven.
We were talking about the oven on the break.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Trying to figure out what type of oven it would be.
I think we I don't know if we agree to this, but we did mention we got to like an oven in Morocco, which is like a little kind of cave thing, but the top is open, and then you put the sheep or the goat or whatever you're roasting into it, and then you put a lid on and seal it, and it all gets slow roasted. So that's what we came up with the oven looking like.
Okay.
Definitely
like
child size. Could work.
Definitely, yeah. And there's no like bottom openings or anything. Like it's solid all the way around. The only way is at the top. So if a child tries to climb out, you just go no.
I feel like now because
Like when
you
you
put
put
so
a
much.
it's like stay in there.
That you have to sit on it until they stop wiggling.
Well, I feel like now you have to ask the author because you put so much thought into this. Now we need.
We
to
really,
know.
in fact, what we need to do is clip this and then we'll send it to the author with it like it's just a question mark. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no.
Question mark.
I think we should just hit her up on like Blue Sky or whatever and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
out of curiosity,
We're gonna stop.
we
her
had some
Instagram, see if it's in there.
A couple of ideas, a couple of plot holes, a couple of logic loops we need just tightened. Thank you. Firstly, this oven.
Oh, and then we had also brought up how we thought we were gonna get some other fairy tale stories in there, like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Because there's that one part with one Sunday and Friday go to the witch's place, and she's like, "Yeah, you two are gonna eat these pastries. I have some kids visiting me, a brother and her sister." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And she was gonna feed them to Ahsoka, which is fucked up.
So what happens to Friday in the end? He doesn't like he's there at the end of the fight? Question mark?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think-
I've lost track of who is who.
I think he does die because when the
think
witch dies, the spell that's on him, I think, dissipates,
Yeah, that
and
would
then I
make
think
sense.
he dies. Yeah, and then the witch, everyone evil dies. Although Friday wasn't, it's not his fault. He was already dying.
He
That was
just
Ahsoka that did
crashed.
that to him.
That was Sunday that did that to him.
Yeah.
Was it Sunday? I thought it was
no.
Ahsoka because
Ahsoka's the one
Ahsoka
who's like,
goes.
Yeah, you gotta leave him behind. And then when
Okay.
she sees him, she's like, "Oh my god, I never should have said we should have left you behind. It's all my fault."
So, but if it was Sunday that did it,
Ahsoka
surely when
didn't. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, surely if Sunday did it, surely when Sunday went mad and died in the ditch, that should have been that spell broken.
Well, what I was thinking was because like Ahsoka was dealing with like burning the witch's face off in her cauldron, she didn't know that Sunday had given Friday a potion to transform him. So I thought like when she saw Friday like writhing on the ground, she probably thought he was just dying from the poison he already had in his system, and so she was taking Sunday away to like, you know, like let escape.
I don't think
And
she
so
knew about
both
the
of them-
poison.
Oh. So she's just like, I see you transforming on the ground, but fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I think she was
Horrible.
like, "Oh, the fire's probably gonna kill him, so we have to get out of here and save ourselves." And then she's like, "Oh no, the fire didn't kill him. I left him to become this thing."
Evil.
Yep. Don't leave your friends in a fire. Don't save
Yeah. Make sure you put a bullet in their heads first.
Yeah. Come on.
I would shoot any of you guys in the head if we were in a fire.
Thank
just so
you.
you know.
I appreciate that.
Like, there's just a fire we're in, and
Yeah.
you're gonna shoot me. You're not even gonna try to save me. It's just, here is a blicky.
Yep.
There you
I
go.
see a candle. There's just a candle on your counter. Bye, Jam. I saved you.
I think the
God.
better question is, where did Peter get a gun?
That is the
Right?
better question because we don't really have them here. They're basically illegal here.
I mean, they should be. But anyways,
Anyway.
book club questions.
Oh, book club questions. Okay, moving on. That's what we're doing here.
Hold on. Oh, I know
So,
this.
question 1. What is question 1?
How much did you know about this book before picking it up?
Absolutely 0.
Never even heard of it.
Not even a word.
Nope.
I was familiar with witches, but even then, this seems to change the rules of witches. How just devil may care.
Yeah, I feel like I need to know more about witch lore and where this baby eating and baking comes from.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
But,
like older.
yeah, I didn't know
witch
anything
stuff.
about it either.
Sorry, Victoria?
I feel like the witches eating kids is like old witch lore, not like modern witches. More like
Yeah,
when
that is
they
very
are
Hansel and
scary.
Gretel.
Yeah, like when they're scary and you're using them to teach your kids, like, oh, don't do that. The witch is gonna come eat you,
That makes sense.
and then they just end up traumatized.
Yeah. So, how had you heard of the book before reading it? Because you were the one who recommended this one, Jam.
No, I don't really remember. Like, it was on my TBR. I know I saw the cover art. I think maybe I had seen it on Instagram because she also, like, Jacque Aye has another book that I also wanted to read. But this one was, like, a newer one. I think the other book she published in 2023, maybe. But yeah, I didn't know anything about the book other than they got some cool hair.
They do have
And
fabulous
I like
hair.
the witchy hat.
Witchy hat is
What's her next?
cool.
We all
Alright,
need witchy hats.
How did the book make you feel? Did it make you laugh, cry, cringe, etc.?
Peter, how'd you feel?
I was actually getting to it. Like, if I'd have finished it and gotten to all the confusing fighting bits and whose name is really this, that would have confused me. Like, as Jam explained it, that was probably the easiest way of following along, and I was still a bit, wait, this is this person, that's that person? Because I didn't see the kind of split timeline happening. Like, it made out like both stories were happening concurrently, which I guess they kind of were? Question mark? But then things had happened in the past, so I didn't know. So I enjoyed what I did read of it. Did not hate it. How did you feel about it?
Who? Me? Victoria? I vote Victoria.
Everybody.
How you feel about it?
I liked it. I don't know. I don't think I really like. I was gonna say I don't think I really cringed at anything, but there were parts. Okay, one thing that did annoy me is how short some of the chapters were. I think there was one that was literally like a page or something,
Yeah.
and I just
That was
hate
a-
short chapters. I'm like, that's so unnecessary. Don't do that.
That was a Friday and Sunday chapter because I noticed
Yeah.
that as well. I was like, this is literally like 2 paragraphs. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that's
I
just
think
like
there's like a Cecily chapter like that as well, where it's just like she woke up on the bed and just like, here's the letter. Let me
Yeah.
read it.
at least that one kind of makes sense because then the letter was its own chapter, but even then it didn't need to be. But that's just like a little pet peeve. That's not like a thing.
Yeah. I wonder if the author. I wonder if is it Jackie? Jackie Aye?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Aye. I've been waiting months to make that. I've been waiting days to make that joke. Jackie Aye. I wonder if her other novels have things like, because this would be her third book. Because when I was searching desperately to find this one, I found at least two other books.
Yeah, I think this is the third one.
So I wonder if her other novels are similar in storytelling format.
Well, if I read the other one, I will let you know.
Please
I
do.
will read the other one. So when I read it, I'll let you know.
Oh, hold on. There was one part that made me cringe.
Oh,
no.
Like
yeah,
it made
cringe.
sense like in context of the story.
Was it Friday poisoning himself?
No, although
Which
that was
just kept.
that was pretty cringe.
I wonder if this book was really. I hesitate to say badly edited, but rushly edited because I feel like Sunday poisoning himself came out of
Friday.
No, Friday. My apologies.
Yeah.
I feel like Friday poisoning himself was just like, yeah, we're gonna go rescue him, we're gonna go save him, and P.S. glug glug glug, dying.
I think maybe she just wanted to keep the book short, so there wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of like space for exposition for that kind of stuff because so much happens at the end, and she
Yeah.
needed space for that. Especially if she's self-publishing. Like I don't know if that makes a difference. Of like if you do a shorter book, it's cheaper. I don't know.
I don't know if it does, question mark. But, I mean, we need to ask Megan that. Megan would
Yeah.
know better than all of us. But I just thought... Right. You know what else I thought was kind of a sort of missed opportunity? Is when Friday was saying that he didn't really love Ephema, which again is another Megan character.
Ooh.
Megan has a character called Ephema, so I was like, Ephema, brilliant. Friday's true love was originally called Ephema.
Oh, no, Dalucci.
Yeah, but he was playing. He got Dalucci. No, he got Ephema to play along, but he loved Dalucci.
Oh, her, yeah. The
Yeah.
fiance, yeah.
I kind of thought, because they didn't specify which gender Dalucci was for the first few sentences, and I was like, I wonder if Dalucci's a guy, and that's going to be a big reveal to his brother. And I thought that would have been interesting. I'm sorry, what bit made you cringe? Did you find it?
I did.
I'm sorry.
It's when the witch is telling Cicely, without you, I'd have no one. You're my everything. And I was like, bro, you've known her since she was a child. Like, that's so much pressure to put on one person. And, like, it makes sense in the context of the story. But I was just like, oh, my God, this poor kid. Not that she's a kid, but, like...
Yeah, that's a lot. Especially when Cicely feels like she has to say it back.
Well, and especially, like, the
She
witch
was
goes
saying it
out on these,
too.
like, dangerous-ass journeys. And to know that, like, oh, I'm the only thing that's, like, keeping her, like, safe and, like, wanting to, like, actually come home at night. It's awful.
It
Like, it's fucked up, man.
was a bad situation.
Yeah.
How did the book make me feel? I enjoyed it. There were, I guess, a lot of the twists and turns I kind of had guessed very early on, and I hadn't been given any, like, proof of it. I was just like, oh, I bet this is going to happen. So, I mean, I guess it was fun to see that all come true. I didn't really dislike anything. I kind of like the, can't say newer take on witches because it's an older take, but I like seeing that kind of witchy nonsense. And
Like,
the
back
children
to their
eating.
roots.
Yeah. And then the way they're just like stalking these villages and eating up their babies and the innocents. It's fun. It's a fun story. It's horrifying.
Was it ever a because there's a multiple points in the bit where the mistress is, or Ceciline says the mistress is like, stay away from snakes. Snakes are the worst fucking creature on earth. Was that ever revealed why, or just snakes in particular?
So part of the witch's curse is like, I don't know if they were, Misturu and Ahsoka were like standing face to face, but like a snake comes out of Misturu and enters Ahsoka. So it's like the snake entering her is the curse that turns her into a witch. So snakes can't be trusted. And then it was interesting to see, like, throughout the story how like Misturu would always be hissing and saying her words like Ahsoka.
I noticed that. At one point I was like, is this witch going to tell us that the Chamber of Secrets has been opened? I don't know what's happening here.
I think Cicely had also described the way Ahsoka was moving, like the way she like slithered inside. And I was like, oh, is she evil? Like, we know she's a witch, but is she actually an evil witch? So snakes were there.
And that kind of confused me as well, because I thought that the two witches were the same witch, but they weren't the same witch. So I'm wondering, why when the witch is not with Ceciline, does she go more and shit like that? Because it took me a while to figure out they were two different witches.
Oh, okay.
Maybe with Cecily, she's just more like trying to be normal and not so evil witchy. She just wants, I just want to be like a normal mom with a kid. And she just puts more effort into that act as opposed to when she's out there being a witch, doing witchy things. She's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna lean into this. I gotta be spooky. I need these people to be afraid of me.
Hashtag just witch things.
By that mob.
When the mob came into it, I was very much imagining the opening scene of Shrek when the mob appears at his swamp. And in my head I could hear, somebody once told me. Oh, you underwater army now, huh? Oh, hello there, what you doing in my swamp?
Alright, do you have any favorite quotes or passages you would like to share?
Oh shit.
I only
actually have to launch the app.
One quote.
What was it?
Hold on.
I don't know why it made me laugh, but it was suit yourself, which laughed. He has a squalid soul and she a murderous one. Either one works for me. But there's like 3 E's. Yes, there. Yes, there. You can't see shit.
No.
No. Well, there's 3 M's on the end of me, so it's clearly supposed to be like works for me. But in my head, I was like works for me, like just so happy about it.
Probably how she said it.
That's how I like to think she is there. I mean, her and a talking donkey went to fight a prince.
The only thing I wrote down was, and she remained still as the brothers ate slowly. Oh wait, what? And she remained still as the brothers ate slow. No, I didn't write this down right. I wrote down. Okay, hold on. Let me try this a third time. And she remained still as the brothers slowly ate to their heart's discontent. I got it.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was fun.
Yeah, I just like the twist on usually it's like to your heart's content.
That's
all I had.
But surely, as they didn't want to be there and they were being held captive, surely everything they ate, their heart was discontent about. So after like the first crumb, they were like, "Okay, we're discontented. We're done."
Yeah, I mean they were being forced to eat. So,
Desserts as well.
Yep.
that's the worst.
You know what they say? A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
I've never heard that before.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Damn. I wrote down, it was like the quote, it was from Cicely near the end where she says, "I can't possibly know if I love you in return or if I loved the lies you told." I was just really happy that she didn't just run off with Grace in this fairy tale happily ever after nonsense. It was like, actually, I need some time for myself. Fuck you.
And she even quoted a Rihanna song while she was saying it. Just gonna stand here and watch me burn. That's alright, 'cause I like the way it hurts.
I don't think she would do that.
I mean, she might.
Oh, I just realized my blurred thing took out my headphones. They're gone.
They're back now. They took out mine as well. Because there's a picture frame behind me, and it kind of has been making me look like I've got. Yeah, can you say it? Yeah, say it. It's bizarre.
Kinda, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Whatever. Just throw some more hair in front of it.
What are some of your favorite scenes from the book, and why did they stand out?
Jam?
I liked when the healer was like, "You should be afraid of Miss Duru." It was like, "Oh my gosh, plot twist! You were in danger all along." And just the thought of like Miss Duru was playing this long game because she was with them for years. She didn't do a damn thing.
She really played the long card.
God.
You really did. Like, who has the energy to lie to someone for that long?
And then to come back and raise her enemy's daughter and then send her to go kill her. It was
She
just
was
so funny.
pissed.
She was so mad.
I mean, I like to think I am pretty petty and revengeful, but I'm an understudy. I need to up my shit. That is a level of petty I aspire to.
Anyways.
How about you, Peter?
Anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. But, well, the bits I read, we'll only go by the bits I read. Although I'm so curious to know more about this oven. This oven is my Achilles heel. I just need to know about it. But I didn't get that far, so legally I can't be fascinated by that. I don't think anything. I just kind of. I hesitate to say I enjoyed it all, but I was going with it, and I just kind of enjoyed it as it went. Even the differing perspectives from Ahsoka and Sunday to Cicelyne were interesting, because I was like, at some point these are going to cross. They have to, or else what's the point in all this? And I didn't get that far, so I saw.
With how far you read, was there like one story you found more interesting than the other? Like, were you more intrigued by Ahsoka and Sunday or Cicelyne, or I
I didn't get to Grace's story. I think I was more intrigued by Cicelyne because I wanted to know why exactly she'd gone with the witch. Because where did I get? I got to Sunday and Ahsoka had just gotten married and had the kid, but Sunday's mum, who was Sunday, Friday, Sunday. Sunday's mum was a fucking asshole and told everybody that her son had married somebody who was cursed. Yeah. And that's where they had to move, and that's where I got to.
Okay.
So I was like, that's a bit of a dick thing to do. Guess who's not seeing the grandkids at Christmas?
Well, what about you, Victoria?
Oh, I like when everything kind of like tied together, and we finally realized, oh, this is why that person's important. Like in the beginning, like I did not care about Sunday and Friday. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, dude, like he is so whipped for her. Like get over it. Like grow his fucking spine, and he never grew his spine.
Didn't I call him a simp earlier?
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong.
It just gets worse.
Nope.
Throughout the whole book.
I agree. And he like abandons his daughter pretty much to go find his wife who is hiding from them. So
yeah. And he just never cared about his daughter. He just was like, yeah, that's a human that I made.
I think he even says at one point like he never actually loved her, and then Ahsoka kind of knew and was like, do you not love our baby? He's like, yeah, of course I do. Like, no, who are you?
Like, he's just, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I like him very much. Upon reflection.
That's fair.
I wonder if when he was saying that, she was like, don't you love our baby? And he was like, of course I love... Don't you love me and our baby? Of course I love you and our baby. Can you say that be really fast? I love you so much, and also the baby. He's going like, hey, don't ask me.
Alright, which character did you connect with the most and why?
That's a great question.
The kid in the oven, because I also want to know what the hell it's all about.
I don't really know. Like, I think at first I would have said Grace, just because of like her encountering Cicelyne and like immediately seeing that she's a prisoner and having, I guess, a better understanding of the world and what's going on. Like, because Cicelyne really seemed a bit too naive and innocent. But I was also really proud of her decision at the end. I was like, yeah, you're my girl. And then I got really annoyed with Grace towards the end, with how she was constantly like hating on her mom, because it's not like she chose to be cursed and she did what she thought was best. And it's like, Grace, you need to fuck off with this attitude.
I will ground you, young lady.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if there's one character I like more than the other, that I connected with more than the other. Just like bits and pieces of all of them. I also didn't care for Friday or Sunday. And Mysterio was just, she was wild. She was wildin'.
She was a fun wild card. You just didn't know what was going to happen with her.
Yeah.
Peter, what about you?
I don't think I really connected with any of them. Like, I think the one I cared about most was Cicelyne. Or Cicelyne? Yeah. Because in the description, it was like, is she really being cared for? Is the witch taking advantage of her? And I was like, well, if you have to ask a question, obviously we know which one that's going to be. So I was curious to know how, or if she'd escaped from that. So I guess I cared about Cicelyne. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Cicelyne. And... yeah, probably. Just I cared about Sunday, but I cared less about Friday. And so when Friday was like, peace out in 3 days, counting down, clock starts now, didn't give a shit. I was like, okay, coolsies, good for you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't know enough about Friday to care that he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the only point of him being in the story was to help his brother not kill a man. And then they didn't kill him, and the brother killed himself. Like, it's just...
They did Friday wrong, because we didn't learn anything about him. He was there to support his brother, only to be turned into some bat creature who had to serve a witch, and then die anyways.
I think it would have been interesting if the book had been like maybe a little longer, just to give more background to the characters and like actually make me care about more of them. Because even Hans, I was like, if he goes, he goes, man. It's his time. Like, what are you gonna do?
Hans was also just like a random
random
character to me, just thrown in. Because like throughout the whole book, I'm trying to figure out who these people are, and I almost didn't guess that Grace was Amara because like she didn't have a brother. So why do you suddenly have this man you're calling a brother?
Well, he's
like, where
also,
did he even come from? We don't know.
That's the thing. He's also just a random in the story. Like, the witch was just like, oh, I even found you a brother with... We don't know where she found him. We don't know if he's actually a good guy. Like, why would she give him... Sorry, why would she give her, like, someone that would help her escape and, like, be actually useful in her life? So, like, there's gotta be more to Hans. I refuse to accept him at face value.
Like, he could have been an embezzler.
Right?
He could have made millions making fraud on the stock market.
Well, I mean, I guess he is a criminal, and she ended up being a criminal as well. Mm-hmm. But they were doing, I don't know. I'm still suspicious.
Just stuff.
Yeah,
just stuff. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Cecily was definitely my favorite character, and like the only one that I was like, I want her to pull through and actually have a better life at the end of the book. Everyone else, I was kind of like, eh. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. As long as Cecily gets out.
You think because it ended with her just going back and finding herself, so do you think that is a good life? Do you think it's setting up a sequel? Do we discuss a sequel later on? I can't remember if there's a question about that. Okay, do you think it is setting up for a sequel in that world, maybe?
I think, like, there could be with the way it ended. Like, they could just go into how Cicely finds Grace again and start whatever adventure they're going to at this new town or somewhere else in the world. But I think the ending was satisfactory and there is no need for one.
Yeah, I could see them being like background characters if like the next book took place in this universe. Or like maybe they're like running a shop together or whatever and the new main character meets them. And so then that's how you find out, like, oh, like, they still end up together and they're having a happy life. And then the main character moves on. And so does the story. Oops.
And you discover you can't spell treason without T.
Yes.
It's the prequel. It all ties together.
I would be interested if they did do more in that universe. Because, I mean, they also left, like, open that spell that Ahsoka had found. Or the potion to, like, reverse the witch curse without having to use an innocent soul or innocent heart. So that would be interesting. That kind of just disappeared.
That just seems like a waste, though. If you can't just have the heart, you need to use the whole child. That's some good meat on those bones. You throw a potato, baby, you got a stew going.
Oh my god. What's the next question?
I think you need to watch Arrested Development.
You really do, Jam. You need to watch Arrested Development.
I don't think... It sounds cringy.
That's so fun.
It is, and that's why it's fun.
If I'm gonna have like secondhand embarrassment every other scene, I'm gonna turn it off.
No, get
Jam's
over
gonna hate
it.
Tobias.
Just have fun. Just
there are dozens of us.
Psych.
I'll at least watch the first episode.
Alright. Because like I feel like with Psych, Arrested Development, and Schitt's Creek, like they're cringe in the beginning, but you just gotta power through, and then you love them.
Yeah.
Because like Schitt's Creek, the first time I tried watching that, I didn't even finish the episode. I was like, I hate this. Why did Lucas tell me to watch this? But now I love it because I gave it another shot.
Yeah.
See, I did the same thing with Breaking Bad. I couldn't finish the first episode because I was like, why are these students bullying their teacher? Fuck you. I turned it off.
Because America.
Yeah. Like, if Breaking Bad was set in the UK or Canada, it would be like, we're sorry, Mr. White, this is a very difficult thing to say. You're not very well, but we can cure you in 6 to 18 months. It'll be fine. Credits. No show. It had to take place in America.
Alright, I feel like we talked about this, but how did the main character change or grow throughout the story?
Cecily had growth. Ahsoka died. I think she did, because she went from being like this completely naive and overly trusting girl to independent woman.
Which we like, because I'm genuinely asking because I never got that far. So, like, the last I read of Ceciline, she's off with Doodah in the woods, and Grace mentioned going on a mission.
But we've
That's
been
the last I
talking about
heard.
it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's where I got to in the book, so I don't know what her growth was like in the end. Because
She
all
had
through
some
the whole
growth.
thing, she's shitting herself about the witch coming back.
Yeah. I don't know. I still liked her the most.
Yeah.
I can't really say how the other characters grew. Like, Grace kind of... I don't even know if she actually forgave Ahsoka for anything at the end of it. Because, I mean, it kind of just seemed like a rush. Like, I kind of regret being mean to you now that you're about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Mom. But also, she was a bitch to her up until the death. Until she realized, like, a second before she's about to kill herself. And then everyone else was just like, they're there.
Yeah, I feel like this story takes place over like such a long period of time, but the main story is so short that there's not enough time for like character growth for the main characters.
Yeah,
Because even,
I felt
like,
that as well.
Because Grace is gone for like 50 days, but she's like off screen. Like we don't know what's going on in those 50 days. Like it's just a huge time skip.
Mm-hmm.
So like it didn't really give her a chance to change. I feel like she stayed pretty consistently the same. I feel like Cecily's the only one who changed.
Yeah. We were following her the most. Even through her 50 days of solitude.
I feel like Ahsoka tried. Like, she tried to become a better person, and, like, I guess she did change, because she went from wanting to eat Cecily's soul to being like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate myself to finding another way. So she tried to be a better person.
True.
Miss Duru, on the other hand, she just kind of went, ew.
She was
regressed.
a bitter bitch until the end.
Yeah.
She was set in her ways.
Oh, you know your grandpa. She's just set in her ways like old Miss Duru.
Yeah. Alright. How do the secondary characters impact or influence the main characters in the story?
One of them became a big bat thing.
Yep. He did.
So there's that.
I think Grace kind of helped Ceciline to, I guess, be a bit more critical about the world. Especially since she lied to her so much.
Yeah. Encouraged her to actually leave the cottage and not just hang out the whole time.
That's true. Yeah.
Sitting by the river,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it from me.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
we
it from
talked
me.
about
That's all I
it.
got.
Which characters did you dislike or disagree with the most, and why?
Now, some may say that hating children is a bad thing. Can we discuss that?
Who do you hate, Peter?
Because
Team.
I'm not saying she was onto something, but no, I've got nothing. What is the question? I could disagree with, and I guess we're supposed to dislike. Who was the mistress? Who was the mistress again? Ahsoka. I guess we're supposed to dislike Ahsoka because she's keeping Ceciline prisoner, but also not, but also yes.
I didn't dislike her. She
Yeah.
had just a shit lottery. Shit lot
Yeah.
in life. Like, I'm not mad that she went to the witch to get her father killed. That's unfortunate. I'm kind of annoyed that she left Friday to possibly burn alive. I don't blame her for trying to find a potion to reverse this curse on her. And, like, ill that she had to groom Ceciline, but also I think if I was cursed to be a witch against my will and have to eat the souls of the innocents, I would also do whatever I fucking could to get that changed. So, I mean, I'm not mad about it. I just wish she had a happy ending, I guess. Because I think after everything she'd been through and everything she tried to do, because she did try to be better, she deserved at least that. But she didn't get it.
I think my least favorite thing she did is that she just ditched Sunday and her daughter. Like, I know she thought she was doing it for the best, but, like, she didn't even check in on him. And he was, like, going insane. Like, he was
Yeah,
not
he fully
okay.
lost his shit.
Like, she could have written a letter.
Right? I just been like, hey, something has happened. I'm okay. I'll be back. Stay here so I can find you and, like, treat our daughter well. And once everything's fixed, I'll be back. Because I feel like if she had have told him to, like, take care of the daughter and just stay in one place and, like, get a job and be normal, he would have done it just to, like, make her happy. Because that's all he fucking cares about.
Yeah.
But, like, he was obsessed with her, and then she just disappears on him. So, like, I guess I can't really blame Grace for, like, being mad at her. To find out, like, all this time that she was alive, and she just was like, well, sucks to be you. You're stuck with a crazy-ass dad who doesn't actually love you, and then he's gonna die, and now there's a witch.
Mm-hmm. She did make some bad decisions.
Yeah. And that's why open and honest communication is the keystone of any relationship.
I also disliked Uju, Ahsoka's mom, because she should have been the one to ask for that curse to kill that man.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean, what darkness in his heart? They didn't really say that he was an alcoholic for, like, the entire time he's been in the village, but I feel like it was implied. So it's like, woman, kill this man. What do you mean? But whatever. She died, so...
It's also, like, hard to, like, say without knowing, like, when he became an alcoholic. Because, like, obviously you don't marry someone when they're like that. Like, it must have been something that happened over time. Because, like, if that happened to, like, the person that you loved, like, yeah, you're not going to want to kill them. You're going to want... Because you know them from before. And before they got sick. So you're going to want that sickness removed so they can go back to being normal. So, like, I get that part. But she should have fucking left a note. Always leave a note.
Nobody leaves a note.
And that's why you always leave a note.
Like,
actually, and I also thought about this last night. But, like, if Ahsoka was gonna have Ike killed, why didn't she just do it herself?
Yeah.
She just...
Then I don't think she would have been rejected by the village. Maybe she would have still been, but at least she wouldn't be cursed by a witch.
And when was this spell supposed to kick in? Because they say at some point that Uju was on the way back, and Ahsoka was on the way there. And they, first off, they didn't pass each other in the woods like, hey, so I'm on my way to see a witch. Oh, I'm just back from a witch. Have a good
They
time.
didn't even see each other in the
Exactly. Yeah. But if Uju was gone for a month or so, which they say she was, so they made the spell to make Ike's heart better, that should have kicked in. When was that supposed to kick in?
They never say.
Exactly. So, like, if when Friday and Sunday went to give Ike a good kicking or whatever they were going to do, he was like, "Oh no, I'm feeling better. I'm going to put down the bottle. I'm fine." And then the witch killed him. Like that would be. She could technically Uju could technically take the witch to a small claims compensation court because she ordered a product which she did not get, and that is fraud. So that becomes a whole federal investigation. It becomes a whole, like, you get the receipts, you get the bank statements, you pull all that out, you prove that you ordered the thing and you didn't get the thing. So then the witch could have done 6 to 18 months in the prison. So,
well, here's a thought. Maybe it was going to happen that night, because maybe in the wicked ways that witches work, she compelled Ike to do that horrible thing to Ahsoka's hair, which made Sunday and Friday decide to go scare this man to submission. So maybe if the witch hadn't showed up on behalf of Ahsoka to kill him, he would have been scared into submission, and then the evil from his heart would have been gone. So maybe it was going to kick in that night, but then Ahsoka just couldn't wait.
Because she didn't know. Because her
killed.
mom didn't leave a fucking note.
yeah, no. At least a voice message like, you have one message. Boop. Hi, honey. So I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. Listen, your father's a bit of a dick at the moment, but he'll get better. I promise. Just ease it out. Just stay cool.
Like,
I'll be back. Love you. Kisses.
Why wouldn't you, like, tell your daughter to stay somewhere else until you come home if you know he's abusive?
Yeah, that too.
Like, you just left
The
her
lack
there.
of
And we're like,
communication.
It'll be fine. He's an alcoholic. He's kind of abusive, but it's fine. It's fine. Surely nothing will happen in the month that I'm gone. Surely he will not deteriorate and get worse.
Yeah. Especially because she had a boyfriend. Like, she could have even been like, hey, you know that boyfriend of yours, Sunday? Go live with him for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Go live in sin. Have a good time.
Just go talk to
get
the
out of the
mom
house.
and be like, hey, you and I both know this husband thing, not going so hot. Can she stay with you while I go deal with some things? Because I want her to be safe. You want her to be safe so your son can marry her. Like, it's in our best interest, you know?
Yeah.
Like, teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Let's connect.
This village just didn't have anyone's back because they knew this man was terrible, and they're like, oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, to take it on a slightly darker note, when EK was first introduced and they said that he was drunk and that Ahsoka was alone with him, I was very much like, where's this going? Like, it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get that. Anywho.
Any hoozles.
Are there any characters you wish you could have given advice to, and what would you tell them?
Leave a fucking note.
Yeah. Learn how to write. Leave a fucking note.
Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah. Even just spell it out with fridge magnets. Gone to which? Number 2. Gone to which? Bye.
So many problems would have been solved.
Right? Alright, I feel like we can just go on to the next one. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Alright, what do you think happens to the characters after the book ends?
Maybe Grace and Ceciline do get... Maybe Ceciline turns to kind of evilness because she's in that big house with all the witchy shit. So what does Ceciline become? That I'd be curious to know.
I think Ceciline would become like a village healer somewhere because she was pretty good at that and knowledgeable. She could open up like an apothecary or something to live out her life. And I guess Grace and Hans are still doing odd jobs and being thieves. Unless the witch was actually like rich as fuck, then they could have just taken all of her gold. But if not, we gotta pay for food somehow.
I assume there is some kind of gold or treasure or something around. Like witches just... I assume witches have big bank accounts, so there must be some kind of thing laying around.
I think they just store the money under their cushions and their mattresses.
Imagine being so rich that you could go into like a mattress store or something and be like, hey, I've got a bag of cash, literally make my mattress out of this cash and then deliver it to me at my house and you're sleeping on a literal mattress of money.
It's a good backup plan.
I don't think that'd be comfortable.
You could get it on one of those adjustable beds, so like, and whatnot, one of them.
Our money is plastic, so I'm just imagining the noise of the plastic going crinkle, crinkle,
Just
crinkle,
crinkling.
crinkle, crinkle.
Every time you roll.
Ours is as well. Imagine being able to wake up and be like, yep, my left butt cheek is on $120,000.
Yeah, I like to think that Ceciline becomes a healer, and she's just like great at it or whatever. And when she goes to see Grace, maybe they have like a short relationship and then decide that, you know what, we actually want different things, and then they go and move on from their lives. Or move on from each other.
That was nice.
Yeah. What I thought was so interesting about that as well is that Ceciline didn't question the feeling she was having for Grace.
Yeah.
For Grace, like she just went with it, and that was nice. It's like, okay, here's a lass, I fancy her. Cool beans.
Yep. Alright, what was the most memorable or shocking scene or twist in the story?
Now, you know this oven. That's my white
Anything
whale.
besides the oven.
Anything besides the oven. Not a word. Not a word stuck. Just the kitty oven.
Okay. For me, it was when Ahsoka was kind of under the trance of the witch, and she was telling Sunday and Friday that the witch was planning to have her eat the children that were coming to the house. I was like, whoa, that's a hardcore witch right there. I didn't know that's the kind of witch we were dealing with.
There's also a point during that scene where it's described like where they go into the room, the dining room, the kitchen, whatever room it is, and there's they mention 5 little statues, and then we realize that's not statues, that's actual children. Again, the house burnt down. The house was set on fire with these statue children just hanging out.
Yeah, I wonder if they burned, or if they're just still stone statues stuck there forever. Or maybe they're already dead.
Maybe. I assume that they've been kind of transfigured in some way into statues. So assumably when the curse was broken, maybe they were free.
Or she moved the statues to her new cottage, because when they're describing the cottage again at the end, there are more children statues. So either she's done this to more children, or those are the same statues.
You know what I thought would have been brilliant is if... Because Cecilene's apron pocket is bigger on the inside. And imagine Ceciline, there's a point where she's trying to find the parchment, and Ceciline turns her apron upside down, and a child statue falls out. She was just hiding stone children all over the shop, like, oh, there's a child who just fell out. Anyway.
What about you, Victoria?
Oh, I don't even know. I feel like I just kept waiting for the twist, because, like, obviously we knew something was coming. There were a few times where I tried to guess what it was. I don't think I was right.
What'd you guess?
I'm trying to find it. I thought the mysterious woman was Osaka at one point, and that her witch was also Cecilene's witch, and that Osaka was running from the witch. So I got that part right. That Osaka was on the road from a witch. But the other 2 things were very wrong. Because I was trying to figure out the timeline. Because I was just very confused. And then when they said that the young woman had amber eyes, I thought it was Cecilene's witch, because Cecilene's witch also had amber eyes. So I didn't realize that they were trying to make the mother-daughter connection. I just thought it was the same person.
I didn't even pick up on that until you literally just said that, because they describe the witch's amber eyes, and then they talk about Grace's amber eyes a lot. I literally just realised that. Thank you for explaining it to me. Books are wasted on me. I should not be in this book club at all.
We're gonna get you into... I'm gonna pick another mystery book one day, and we're gonna make notes and do a guess who. It's gonna be fun.
I think we do need another mystery. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Alright, next one. Oh, this is Peter's favorite question. If you had to fight one of the characters in an old-timey boxing ring, who would you choose and would you win?
Friday. After
You deserve it.
Post-transformation Friday, him and his wings, and I'm just there. Yeah, put him up, Shane. Yeah, put him up. Give me all rope-a-dope. Yeah, Shane.
Oh my god.
Brilliant. 10 out of 10.
I would fight Sunday, because...
Yeah.
Like, it's fine if you want to be whipped, but you need to look out for your child. What the fuck's wrong with you, man?
Be a father.
Okay. Yeah. Step up. I'm thinking me and Jam.
Every village you travel to, I would be like, I'm right there.
Yeah.
Put your fist up.
Just following this man around the world. I think me and you, Jam, can do like a tag team match. You versus Friday versus me and me versus Sunday. One of us brings out a ladder. Yeah.
What about you, Victoria? Who are you fighting?
I was gonna say Sunday too, because he seems like the easiest one to take.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a little bitch. I'm sorry.
I would have thought dying Friday would, like, pre-transformation Friday when he's dying and he's all frail and whatnot, would be the easiest to take.
He's just depressed. Like, I can't beat up a depressed person. Like, he's... You know what I mean? Like, you're literally kicking him when he's down.
Too.
The man is suicidal. I don't want to be the one to push him over the edge. That's fucked up.
He's already over the edge. The man is already dying. If you killed him, oh well.
No.
In the process.
I can't do that to him. Sunday, on the other hand.
Oh my god, Sunday was...
Bitch material.
He wasn't suicidal. He was depressed. He lost his wife.
This is the book. We're 6 episodes in now, and this is where we start making merch, and that is the first T-shirt we're doing.
You gotta add it to a quote.
Is it ad quote or quote ad? I don't know which one it is. It could be both. It could be neither.
Exclamation
I
quote?
have
I don't know.
You used to have it at one point.
Those were fun facts.
That was fun fact, but you
that's a fun
spelled
fact.
it fun, which was brilliant.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
quote
don't
we
know
need
how
on
to
the
do it.
t-shirt.
That's okay.
There's a picture of Victoria as like an old, in like a boxing old timey stance with like an old timey
You can
boxer
clip it.
mustache.
So I opened up the quotes and mix it up, and the only one I have in there is from Jam. And it says, "We'll go somewhere tropical." What the fuck is this beach thing? I don't remember the context of that. It was in Stardew Valley.
That's amazing. I must have missed that. That's such a good quote.
Beach thing.
It's not my favorite Jam quote, and I think me and Victoria are in agreement that the best Jam quote ever is "These hands are rated E for everybody."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta see if I can do this now. I need to know.
So I'm fighting post-transformation Friday, and you two are fighting Sunday?
Yeah, I'm fighting Sunday after Ahsoka has left him.
Okay. Oh, I can't beat up a depressed person.
It's true. What the hell is this category called?
You have to put in a category?
Yeah, it says I have to put in the name.
Oh, like you have categories like mods or everyone? Or I guess
No.
whoever can no.
Are you clipping it?
Because it says game name. So, like, we're not playing a game, we're in talk
Like
shows and
books.
podcasts.
I think there is a creative. Oh, what is it that? Like
I haven't looked
creative
at that
something?
category section forever.
Okay, well, it didn't work.
Oh well.
Oh, maybe I have to do this in chat. I don't know.
Oh,
No.
forgot I was trying to
don't
charge my
think
phone.
I did that. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out. We'll get there.
All right.
Possibly.
Alrighty. Are you guys ready for everyone's favorite part of the episode?
Yes.
Yay.
Victoria's favourite part, because I'm sending her photos of the cast at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is 11 o'clock her time, and I don't get everybody in. Because there was a couple I had real difficulty casting. Like, I couldn't cast Friday to save my life.
Oh, I had difficulty with everyone except Ahsoka.
I'm very curious to see who chose whom.
Alrighty. Jam, are you ready?
Yes. Go, Jam. Go.
Yeah, what is the order?
That's a great question.
Is it Ahsoka?
I don't. I'll read it out to you. All right, number 1.
Okay.
Ahsoka.
Okay, for Ahsoka, I chose Chloe Bailey. Why? Because the description of her locks, it was either going to be her and Hallie, and I was like, Hallie looks too innocent and young, and I need some diva vibes, so we gotta go with Chloe. Also, Hallie's already been in a movie recently. Okay, I need to see more of my girl Chloe.
All right.
Next.
Grace / Amara.
Ooh. Okay, Grace / Amara. I went with Willow Smith. I don't know if she probably has acted in something, but I don't know. I was going purely off of vibes.
Was it
And
Willow
also-
or Jaden who was in The Karate Kid?
Jaden.
Jaden, okay.
I was also trying to find someone that looked, I guess, younger. A younger, youthful-looking adult.
I think especially in the photo you chose, like, it does give Grace vibes, like, very, like, independent and, like, I can fight people if I have to. Like, very tough and, like, I got this.
Like, kind of roguish vibe.
She looks
Yeah.
competent. You know what I mean? Like, she's got this.
Exactly.
I would trust her. I'd be like, you know what, like, if this girl shows up at my door, yeah, I can understand why Cicely was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go. Let's
Exactly. The vibes are there.
do it.
Who's next?
Ceciline.
Okay, so straight off the bat, I'm gonna say, I will say this woman's name wrong. I'm so sorry. Her last name has a click in it, and I've tried to practice it. I can't do the click. It's just not a sound I'm capable of making. But her name is Ama Kamata. The click is supposed to be on the Q part. I can't do it. I'm sorry. But anyways, Sicilian vibes. Okay? Look at that face. Look at this youthful, innocent-looking adult. She would be serving a witch, probably, and be totally fine with it and think the world is A-okay.
I can see that.
And she has the face of, like, I want to save her.
Yeah. I want to save her and lock her up at an inn and kill her witch mom. Her adoptive witch mom. All right, who's next?
Miss Duru.
Okay. Miss Beatrice Duru is going to be Regina King. Because I can't imagine anyone else. I almost thought Whoopi Goldberg, but I was like, that's too much evil in that character. And I don't know. I just think Regina would be perfect. I'm not really sure what the vibe is. I guess I can see her being a ballet dancer once upon a time, this beautiful ballet dancer who wanted to dance for the rest of her life, so she decided to be cursed as a witch. And now she's bitter and is hunting Ahsoka and her children for the rest of their days.
See, now you've said Whoopi, I can absolutely see, because Whoopi's primarily known for comedy roles and whatnot. If you gave Whoopi a good evil role, I think she would 110% deliver.
Absolutely. But she was like a last minute change. It's like, actually, Regina.
I can see Regina. That's a good call.
All right, who is next?
Friday, our favorite.
For Friday, I chose Caleb McLaughlin? Caleb. Why? I don't know. I was looking for a face, a specific face that gave me a youthful-ish vibe, like not too old because he's going to be transformed into a bad thing anyways, and also someone that looked like they would just off themselves for their brother. That was what I was looking for, and I was like, Caleb seems like he would be kind enough to do it if he was given that role, so there you go.
I'm going to admit, the crossover between turning into Bat Thing here and offing yourself for your brother, that crossover is very narrow. There are not a lot of people who could do that. Like, you can get one, you can get the other, but to make them interchange, that's the challenge.
And then finally would be Sunday, and I chose Tyrell Jackson Williams because he looks like he could play the role. He looks like he could be this guy who was over the moon for Chloe Bailey, absolutely whipped, would do anything for her but not for their child, and then die from madness. The end.
Amazing. How would you have this? Would you have this as a film or a mini-series? How would you set this out?
I honestly think it could be done as a film with just how, like, we could chop a few things off, I guess. I think it would fit in a film. There'd be a lot going on, but I mean, it's doable. There are some details that we could remove and it'd still make it a good movie.
Yeah.
If I had it as like a mini-series, it would probably be like 4 episodes where I would just do like how I broke down the summary. Like, here's Ahsoka's story, here's Grace's story, here's Cicely's story, and then here's it all combined together. So, yeah.
I understand casting. Victoria, what about you? So who did you start with?
Great question.
Am I next, or is it
No,
who's
it's
next?
I thought it
It's
was you next.
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
it's just in order of who sends it.
Ah, I see. I need to stop sending it first.
You're enthusiastic though, and I love that.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna know how to say any of these names. I was going to look it up, and it was just so late that I forgot. So I apologize. So I went with Yara Shahidi for Asaka. She just again, just off pure vibes. Like I put this off to the last minute again, and I just needed to get it done. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So they're all just based off vibes, so I'm just gonna fly through them.
That's acceptable.
For
Love
Grace, I went with Storm Reed, just because I think she looks the part. I would trust her with my
agree.
life. I think she would probably do better at my life than I am. Oops.
Sorry,
And then
I
I
snorted.
went with Halle Bailey for Ceciline. Cause like, look at that smile.
Oh,
And I also like to think that like when she's gardening and stuff, she's singing. And so I just want Haley to keep singing.
just have the Disney princess vibes.
Yeah. Like literal Disney princess vibes.
It's funny you say that. Stand by.
Oh.
Miss Duru, I went with Michaela Cole. I only know her from, I think it's called Chewing Gum. But
Oh.
yeah, I think she'd be
Yeah,
really
I love
good.
her.
And again, just
I
like
can see her in that role.
just based off the vibes of this photo, when I saw it, I was like, yes. I could see her like running a bakery and like plotting away secretly, but like pretending to be nice.
Playing the long game.
Yeah, like she looks like she has patience. And she looks like she's willing to play the long con and be like, you know what, I'm gonna like sow these little seeds, I'm gonna water them every day, and it's all gonna come out the way that I want. Because she just looks like, again, she has her life together, and she knows how to get her revenge, and I admire her for that. For Friday, I went with Jonathan Davis. Again, just based off of vibes. He looks like he would be a simp for whoever he decides to be with. And like he would worship them and be like, yeah, that's my whole life. And I'm going to dedicate myself to them.
I hope these actors never see this
Me
and are
too.
offended by the fact that we're calling them simps. It's like, you look like you could be a simp.
It looks like
Yeah.
he could play one.
How dare you be
Yeah.
in love with somebody, you simp?
Yeah.
You have range, okay? That's what
Yeah.
we're saying.
Yeah.
We know you would never go. Oh, sorry. Friday's not even the right person. Oh, no.
Oh no, did you want him for Sunday?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Who's the simp?
Tara Hand. Just off vibes.
Dara Han.
I can see that. He looks like he's kind of built. He's got like enough bulk to be like, I will protect you, and then turn his big bulk into evilness.
He is in
Just wither away.
Heartstopper. Or Heartbreaker.
Oh, is he?
I never remember the name of that fucking show, even though I love it.
There's
on
a show called
Netflix?
Heartstopper,
Yeah.
and that's getting the movie.
Heartstopper. 100%.
Okay.
I was reading it when it was, I think it still is, a webtoon comic thing.
Yeah. I always get the name mixed up in my head. Anyways, he's in it. He plays Tori's boyfriend. That's where I knew him from. It's just that photo looks nothing like that character. So he has range. He could do it. He could be a good Sunday. I figured it out in the
Good
end.
cast.
I got there.
Good job.
Thank you.
Amazing. And again, would this be a movie, TV show? How are you constructing this?
I would do a movie. I don't think there's enough material to do like a whole TV show, unless you want to give the characters more depth. Otherwise, like Jam said, just 4 episodes. But I think just a movie. Maybe even a short film. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's next?
What do you think?
Actually, I think we're done. All right, bye.
What?
Everyone.
No!
I say, okay, well, next month's book.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next month. Goodbye.
Yep. Okay, so who's the first character?
Asaka.
Asaka. I chose. It's funny you say about Disney princesses, Jam, because I chose Rachel Zegler as Ahsoka.
Oh.
Because I thought she could be all kind of vulnerable, and I hadn't gotten to the point where it turns out she's the witch yet. No, wait, she's not the witch. Who is she?
She is a witch.
She is a witch. Yeah, I hadn't gotten to the point where she was the future witch, so I only knew young Ahsoka, so that's what I was visualizing. Who's next?
Grace/Amara.
Grace/Amara. I chose Olivia Rodrigo. Because I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo has acting. I believe she does. She was a Disney, wasn't she?
I think so, but I never saw whatever she was in.
I just thought she looked kind of like she could fight and be sassy and snarky, but also protect Ceciline.
Okay.
Is Ceciline my next character?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. For Ceciline, I chose Zendaya. Zendaya, however you choose to say it. Because, again, I thought her and Grace could be good together. Like, they'd just be sassy and have a good time together. And I also thought Zendaya could be kind of more vulnerable. Because she's kind of known for playing more snarky characters, but I like the idea of her showing a more delicate side. So I chose her for Ceciline. Miss Duru? Yes, for Miss Duru, I chose somebody who you will never guess that would be cast as a witch. I chose Cynthia Erivo. Because Cynthia Erivo. I just felt she could be... I don't necessarily think Alphaba is bad. I admit I haven't seen Wicked yet, but I don't necessarily think Alphaba is bad, but just for her to be a pure bad character, I thought would be really interesting and really fun. And I think she would nail it. So Cynthia Erivo for Miss Duru.
Oh, sorry. The photo you chose also just matches the cover.
Yeah, there was that as well. Like, I did notice that Cynthia doesn't... Like, for the whole Wicked promo, she didn't have hair, but for this photo she did, which is the same photo Victoria has. Yes, yeah. And I thought that matched absolutely, so again, that was part of my thought process. And the final casting I got was Jacob Anderson as Sunday. I couldn't cast a Friday because there wasn't much to the character, but I thought Jacob Anderson, he's kind of got the look.
Oops.
Sunday's the guy. Yeah, Sunday's the guy. Yeah, so I thought Jacob Anderson as Sunday because he could be kind of rough and tumble and go out there. Again, I hadn't gotten to the point where he loses his shit yet, so I only knew him as the young Sunday. So I thought he would absolutely fall in love with whoever I chose. Who's he falling in love with? Ahsoka. I thought he could absolutely fall in love with Ahsoka, Rachel Zegler. So that was my thought process.
Alrighty.
But honorable mention, and you said it while we were talking. I pulled up, and I don't have a picture of her. Oh yes, I do. I kind of rethought the mother, whose name Uju, who we didn't cast, but I did think Lupita Nyong'o as the mother.
I think I would have casted the same.
I just think she'd be cool. I like Lupita Nyong'o.
So how are you doing this, Peter? What kind of production?
Oh, again, I think a movie, but I'd be willing to maybe make a sequel set in the world. Like, the author hasn't come out with a sequel to this book yet, but I feel that world could be expanded upon. There are other characters and other elements you could pull into it. You could pull zombies into it. You could, if witches exist. You could pull in vampires. You can do anything. So I'd have a movie. I don't think it merits enough to be a TV show. There's just not enough there for a TV show. So a movie. You could get a good hour and a half, 2 hours out of that, definitely.
I agree. All right.
Now we're on to our last part of who gets to choose a new book.
No.
No?
No.
I've forgotten what's next.
No. What's next?
You have to rate the book.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, of course.
We do have to do that. Totally
So obviously, yeah, we knew about. We were testing you, Victoria, and you passed. A+, 10 points.
I'm the one with the agenda pictures. I know what's coming up.
Don't even have it written down. Rate the book. Oops.
Now, obviously, we all know what the book rating is, but let's pretend we don't. Let's pretend we've completely forgotten for last month. So how do we, just for the people, how do we rate? What is our rating system?
All right. We rate on a scale of 1 to 10 stars. 1 star means you would have DNF'd it if it wasn't for book club. 5 stars is you're neutral, no feelings. You're just like, not good, not bad. It just exists. I think we have yet to hit a true neutral book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for when that happens. And then 10 stars is you're telling everyone to read it. Who would like to go first?
I want to go last. I want to know
I was
how
going
you
to say,
all felt.
as Jam chose the book, Jam should go first.
Well, I think
Nah, fuck you.
since Jam chose the book, she gets to choose when she goes. And she's been
That's true,
carrying
yeah.
us this episode, so...
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So,
You want to rock,
Peter,
paper,
you're
scissors
up.
for it, Victoria?
Peter goes first.
Yay, Peter!
Okay.
Even though you didn't finish it, it's fine.
Even though I didn't finish it. Can you imagine me not finishing a book? It's highly unheard of. 6 months in a row. So, what I did read, I did really enjoy. So I would probably rate this probably 6.5/7. Because I did enjoy it. I'm probably leaning closer to 7. Based on what I did read, so I'm going to say 7.
I did have a rating. I don't remember what it was, but I feel like 7 is fair. I think I was going between 7 and 8 because I did enjoy it and I like her writing. Because I know I've had issues with some of how the other authors have written before, but I do like her writing style. And I think the editing is fine. Like I wasn't annoyed this time. And I like the world building that she did. I did like the storyline. I'm gonna go with 7.5. I could be convinced to go to 8, I think. But I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay. I also want to give it a 7.5. I would give it an 8, I think, if it was a bit longer, because I did like the world building and I wanted to know more about the characters and the world and the witches and the towns and villages, that kind of stuff. So I think if it was longer, I honestly would have like read more of it and still loved it, and probably gave it like an 8 or even an 8.5. But 7.5. I enjoyed the book.
I think this is the first book we didn't universally hate.
No, Jam's other pick.
True. And Megan's book.
And
Megan's book, yeah.
And
Did
then
you
we
guys
had
hate
a roll of...
the treason book? Did you hate last month's book?
I didn't hate last month's book. I just didn't
I
get
hated
far
that
into it
character.
enough.
I hated a single character. I liked the rest of the book.
So we have a lot of books we don't hate. See?
Yeah.
And considering we're 6
But
months
this
in,
seems to be... Yeah. We've done well.
Yeah.
We're doing good. So is now the time?
Yeah, hold on, what's number 4? Oh, final thoughts. Anything you want to sum up?
I think Jam said it best, just a little bit more expansion about the character. And I know we keep talking about it, but just the bit when Friday was like, oh, I've got 3 days left to live, that just felt... It didn't
Abrupt.
feel wrong, but it just... Abrupt, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So a little bit more about the characters, a touch more lead up to things as opposed to boom, things just happening. And, yep, That's me. I did like it though. Very good book.
I think if the author does do a sequel, I do hope it's from another bunch of characters' point of view and not just Cecily, just so we could flesh out more of the world. I would read it.
I would like more pictures.
Yeah, the pictures were great.
And because I think when I bought it, it had like author name and illustrator. So because I didn't know anything about it, I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's actually a graphic novel. Because like the illustrator was so heavily like represented in the listing. And then for there to only be like 2 pages of drawings, I was like, oh. And I like the style. I think it's very cool.
I think one of her other books is just a graphic novel, or it's like a full-on manga. Saw parts of it. I might read that one too. Who knows?
I don't know how I missed this.
What did you miss?
Which one?
The one that you were talking about. The little...
Oh, with the masks.
Yeah, the masks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a really
I don't know
great
how
image.
I forgot about that one. Because the whole time you guys were talking about it, I was like, was that just not in my book? And I was like, I don't remember that at all.
It's in there.
It's in there.
There it
I'm
is.
glad you have it.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I want more of like the actual like comic book drawings. Because I think this is so cool and it's so different.
Yeah.
So that would be like
Even if they had like the one drawing for every chapter, I would love it. I'd take that.
That would have been very cool.
Or even just like after like almost like each resolution or whatever. Because there are a lot of chapters and some chapters are only like a page.
And nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Still, that's fair.
It would just be like Cecily like laying in bed for like 20 chapters. But then we would also see like that she is slowly like getting more and more lonely and like maybe her hair gets like slightly more and more crazy as time goes on and like her clothes are more rumpled.
Yeah.
She gets a volleyball, draws a face on it.
Yeah.
You're my new mistress now!
So sad.
And then we have a fight and she's like, out into the forest.
Oh, I thought she was just gonna like, smoke her in the head with a volleyball. Just like Grace.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Grace starts like just talking back. She's like, you know what? Maybe not Grace. Maybe like the witch. The witch is like, you're not allowed to come with me. And she's like, yeah, tell that to Wilson. Smokes her.
You're my new mistress, that.
That would have been a fun plot twist.
Grace comes to kill the volleyball and she's like, stab, and it just goes.
Oh.
And just like 2 pages of it slowly deflating.
Alrighty.
So yeah, final thoughts. That was mine. Anybody else with any final thoughts?
Picks a book.
I have no more thoughts.
My thoughts are done.
Alright, you ready for the wheel spin?
Hell yeah.
Alright, hopefully I got this right the first time. Yes, I
We're
did.
gonna be like delayed in our reaction.
See if it's Addy.
I won't even look at this. I'll wait for this one.
Okay.
Oh no.
I hope it doesn't land on me. I'll be like, oh, bitch. Are you...
Hey!
No! Just pick the book. I don't have a rack.
The wheel has spoken though.
That wheel.
I have to like wait for your reactions.
I think it's Addie.
It is Addie.
It's Addy.
Awesome.
Addie did tell me what book she wants if it lands on her.
Oh. What's the book?
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
We are going back into cozy fantasy with Legends and Lattes. Oops. By Travis Baldry. If it wants to focus.
Oh my god.
It's not focusing.
Where's my copy of the book?
Yeah, Jam, is that my copy of the book?
It is your copy.
I thought so.
It's in the suitcase. In the closet. Do you have another copy now?
That's how much I love this book. This is the
Is this
special
the book?
edition.
And it's sprayed ed? Okay, well now I have your copy.
Because they have this, and then Bookshops and Bone Dust is blue, but it matches. So it's like the same style and the same edge, sprayed edges. And my brother got me them for Christmas.
Oh.
And then as I was like trying to put them on my bookshelf, I was like, where is my paperback?
I still have it. I still have so many of your books.
Jam is a thief.
Is it a thief if you give it to somebody willingly?
Well, I thought I'd get it back.
There was no return date. It'll happen
Exactly.
in the future.
I've had one of my sister's books for about 26 years now, so she's not getting that back.
That's a thief right there.
Yeah.
That's not a thief. She just hasn't asked for it yet.
And Addie's right. There is a third book coming out, I think in November of this year. I saw that today.
Wait, so
So what is
Legends
this
and
book?
Lattes is the first or second?
Sorry?
Legends and Lattes, what order is that? Is like the first book or the second?
Legends and Lattes is the first one. Bookshops and Bone Dust is the second one, but it's a prequel to this one.
Oh,
And
Is this the book? Sorry.
the third one, I don't know. Sorry, what were you saying, Peter?
Is this the book that you said you wished there's no T without, or you can't spell treason without T was?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
And it's
is-
called Legends and Lattes.
Yeah.
I look forward to getting 3/4 of the way through this one too.
I love it so much.
it's a good book, Peter. You're gonna love it, and you should read the whole thing.
I was about to say, can you see it? Is this it? Is this
Yeah.
what you can make out? Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it at
it's-
this angle, you can see it better. Amazing. So there's a distance where you can and can't have things. Okay, excellent.
Oh, interesting. I just have to hold it here, not up to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. We learned something new today.
We did. That's amazing. That'll come in handy in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, so the third one, I just looked it up, comes out November 11th, 2025. So,
That's so soon.
yeah. Well, this one,
Is there... Sorry.
this one came out 2022. Bookshops and Bone Dust was 2023. And now 2025 for the third one. I'm excited.
Is there a description or a synopsis of this?
Yes. Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay. Clearly I have never opened this book. I just put it on my shelf. Look at this art. Or don't.
Bit back. Back. Back.
There we go.
There you
All
go,
the way back
perfect.
there.
Ooh.
Lovely. Is that the one you got from here? Well, I say
No,
here, from Edinburgh.
no. This one you can get at Chapters. Alright. After a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for one last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thune. But rivals old and new stand in the way of success. Not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go it alone. But the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way. And whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she ever could have imagined.
Yay.
Now, when they're cooking these pastries, what kind of oven do they
There's
have?
no
'Cause
children and no oven.
I just want to clarify, you know?
Alright.
That oven is going to be my rosebud now. Every single book, I'll be like, is there an oven?
Alright.
It's captivated me in ways I can't explain.
Oh.
Alright, you
If
guys
we
ready?
have no other closing statements or anything else on the agenda, because I think that's it this time. Yes.
No. You have to
no?
do your shout-outs.
No?
Oh, yeah, I was going to move on to that.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's nothing else we're covering.
Yeah, no. Now it's
We're going to
just...
move on to the shout-outs and closing the stream.
Yeah.
Let's start with Victoria, because
Oh,
this is your
it's
channel.
Too late. I already did your shout-out.
Oh, God. It's
You're
me,
taking-
Blue Clovers, a.k.a. Jam, a.k.a. Blue Clover. So which one's my real name? Who knows? I stream more often now. When's the next stream? I don't know. Sometime next week. Peter, I guess.
Yeah.
You.
Me, I'm a pain in the bollocks.
Peter, is yours two E's
And-
or one?
I don't know. 2 E's, apparently.
I don't know if that's right. I think different ones are
Eh.
1 or 2, and I
think every other social media is just 1 E, but I had to get 2 E's for Twitch because 1 E was already taken, and I was livid when I found out. Hey, I'm a pain in the arse, and people seem to find me funny occasionally.
And you stream.
I do that. Maybe someday I'll do. Maybe someday I'll play something other than House Flipper. It remains to be seen. I've been really digging House Flipper lately. It's so fun, especially because I found out you can do extensions and shit to houses. So I'm just making Frankenstein's monsters that sell for like $500,000. It's fabulous.
You also have a podcast.
Oh yeah, that. Well, I do things. I talk to people. Sometimes they talk back. I actually was out doing an interview on Friday. Was it Friday just gone? It was, and I went to speak to the bands Don't Panic and the bands The Dolly Rots, and it was a lot of fun, and they will be going up at some point this week. ? Produced by Victoria.
And by produce, I didn't actually do anything. He just keeps giving me a producer credit.
I'll be like,
Put it on your
Victoria, is this a good idea? And she'll be like, I guess. And I'm like, that is all the encouragement I need. Doing it. Committed now.
Maybe I will put it on my resume.
You should.
I
would.
I have no experience, but that's fine. Alright.
You're actually doing better at this than any other producer I've worked with in 13 years of radio.
Damn.
So that tells you about the people I've worked with.
I'm also going to shout
That
out...
sounded ruder than I meant it.
I'm also going to shout out Addie. She wasn't here today, but she is such a huge part of Tea and Tales. She helps me with so much behind the scenes and social media stuff. We were up very late last night figuring out social stuff. It was a lot.
Addie's our
stuff.
social media manager behind Victoria, co-social media manager.
So, yeah.
All the stuff me and Jam don't want to do.
So
I would do it if I was better at social media, and I'm not. I don't even remember my own socials. I forgot Blue Sky existed until yesterday, and I still haven't posted something, so...
yeah, Jam doesn't even follow Tea and Tales on Instagram, so...
Yes, I do.
Rude.
What do you mean? That's bullshit.
I can tell you right now who the followers are, because I now have the password.
On one of my accounts or both of them?
Neither.
Because I have 2 accounts.
Yeah, I know.
That's not true.
We have 4 followers. One is someone named Bean, Peter, me, Addie.
Oh my god.
We're being followed by Bean. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got logged out.
It's okay. I'm just messing with you. But anyway, speaking of Tea and Tail socials, it is now linked in the chat. I have so many posts scheduled for Instagram. There's at least 5 or 6, I think, at this point. I'm all caught up after, months of being behind. So, post scheduling is a magical thing. I love it. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
Excited.
I just have to figure out how to connect Blue Sky. And then we'll be off to the races. But yeah.
And then post-scheduling will be coming to the Peter Greenwood show.
Hell yeah. And my socials are here, apparently with free overlays. Who knew? I didn't. Where are they? I don't know. Nope, that's not what... Oh, the Discord's linked. I clicked that by accident. Anyways, I don't know what's there anymore. I haven't looked at it in a while. But yeah, I don't really post. And when I do, it's usually about hockey. Which, by the way, New York won, which is what we wanted.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Amazing. So what does that mean? Who's out? The Scepters and...
So, no, I don't think anyone's out. New York is actually officially out as of yesterday because someone won. But we wanted Minnesota. Oh, Toronto. Toronto's now in the playoffs.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, because I've been supporting the Scepters all season.
So yeah, so I guess Toronto's in, Montreal's in. But Minnesota was super close to Ottawa in points. And as we know, I'm inviting myself over to Jam's house if Ottawa makes the playoffs. So I guess depending on how much Jam wants me to intrude on her house will depend on if we want Ottawa to make it or not. Maybe she's sick of me and she's like, nah, get that bitch out of here. Ottawa
No, you can come over and then I can give you back the books that I allegedly stole.
Fair enough.
You can take that shit back with you.
Did you read all of them?
I read most of them.
Nice. I don't even remember what you have. To be honest.
I don't remember what you gave me, so it's gonna be difficult. I think I stamped all of my books, so the ones that aren't stamped are yours.
I remember when we were in Edinburgh, and Victoria was like, I'll take this book, books are so cheap here, I'll take this, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take this. And Jam was like, how are you going to get this home? And Victoria was like, how am I not going to get these home? How are you going to get these home? They're going to your house.
Actually, I think I took all of them but one.
The one. You know what? We'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, it was like number 2 in a series or something. And I was like, you can take it. And then that was it. Anyways.
That's true.
You have never seen somebody as joyful as Victoria in a cheaper bookshop.
Dude, and they were so pretty. Except now we have sprayed edges. Magical. So now it's not quite so magical. Because at the time we didn't. But we do now. So now I can buy them in Canadian dollars and not pounds. All right.
Enjoy spending $79.99 in Canadian dollars when it's like £5.50 in Great British pounds.
Yeah, but then I have to get it shipped, and then there's customs. It's a whole mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're taking them in your suitcase, there's no customs. So that was nice. All right. Anything else y'all want to shout out? Or are we good?
I think I'm done.
The next meeting.
Next meeting,
yeah.
yes.
And then we're done.
May 31st? Question mark? Wait, no.
May
25th?
25th?
I can do the 25th.
I can do the 25th.
Okay, cool.
Addy in chat, can you do the 25th? If not, let us know in Discord. Or do let us know in just let us know. 25th of that thing. May.
Addy says she is good to go. Alright. May
Amazing.
25th. We will be
May 25th.
about Legends and Lattes. And we'll see if Peter hates it after I hyped it up so much.
You expect me to... Knowing what you know about me, how do you think I'll react to this book?
I think you'll like it. Like, I mean, you liked Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, so...
Yeah.
If you like that, you'll like this. I just don't know if I hyped it up too much by being like, I love it! So,
I'm very curious. So,
we'll see.
Should we do the outro?
Sure, do you want to do... What's the outro?
So thank you for watching the Tea and Tales Tavern Book Club. On behalf of Jam and Victoria, and also our friend Addy, who is not here today, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.
That's our outro. It sounds amazing.
That's just his outro.
It's almost like I've done an outro or two before in my life.
Are we rating anyone today?